Hey everybody. Hey everybody. We have Destiny and Destiny. Some of you all know him formerly known as Mike Mack, but he is here. Mike, hit him with your radio voice so they don't forget that you haven't turned transgender.
Ulster Country KJ103 J Michaels here, wrapping up another 4 with Destiny. And today, can you dig it, baby?
Destiny squared. But whatever.
Destiny.
So we came here just to kind of do a recap. We just had what would you describe that space as? What would
shit show?
Shit show. Mike, what would you say it was?
I'm gonna make this 2 times, and I'm gonna agree with Destiny. I'm gonna go with her answer.
Champion. All right.
All right. So someone can't agree with every answer. So I guess it's fucking me. So I would say that the space that we had was interesting. It really shows that we are fucked.
The elites, Henry Kissinger died today, and I just want to say you did a good job, obviously. Oh, excuse me. You did a good job, sir, down in where you may reside.
A lot of this space that happened today.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. This is how he haunts people.
Let me say this real quick. And I'm being dead serious. I had no idea about Kissinger like that. I had no clue. I never heard any of that.
What? You've never read the 200 report?
No, I've never heard.
Mike, I'm sending it to you.
The only thing I ever even paid attention to Kissinger
I got you.
was about China, and the fact that he would I just read that little newspaper article, I just read a newspaper article where they were talking about how once they get the people to take the vaccines and stuff like that, it'll be over. And I know a lot of you in this room right now, y'all invest in that. And it's like, y'all are going to make, they're going to make billions, and y'all are going to make a lot of money too. And it talks about, I'm like, what? Is this real?
Oh, and I'm sending you the source document right now.
So what was,
sent.
What was that dude?
And remember guys, we're on YouTube, so we can't actually say what he actually was doing, but we can read.
I can quote the actual thing though, because it's a document. This is from USAID, aka what RFK Jr. was saying it is, what I've been saying it is. Oh, shoot, it's GRA, right? So this was from December 10th, 1974. I'm reading this from USAID.gov. It's called the National Security Study Memorandum, or NSSM 200. Implications for worldwide population growth for U.S. security and overseas interests, also known as the Kissinger Report. Classified by Harry Blaney III. Subject, general declassification schedule, blah, 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 blah. This document can only be declassified by the White House. Declassified in 1989 under the provision of Executive Order 12356 by F. Grabowski, of the National Security Council, approved the declassification. Now, let me find the perfect one. Now, when it gets to talking about women, that's probably where it starts getting interesting.
Hey, that's
so they say in order to encourage the population trend that they desire, being to curb the growth of the population, that they must instill programs that include improved healthcare and nutrition to reduce child mortality. Fair. Education and improved social status for women. Increased female employment. Improved old age security. Seems good, right? And assistance to the rural poor, who generally have the highest fertility, with actions to redistribute income resources, including providing privately owned farms. However, one cannot simply proceed. I just lost my place. Okay. There we go. From identification of relationships in large-scale operations. For example, we do not know yet the cost-effective way to encourage increased female employment, particularly if we are concerned about not adding any males to unemployment. We do not know what the specific packages of the program may entail. Now,
Damn.
it says the preferential sectors include providing minimal level education for women, reducing infant mortality, including through low-cost healthcare networks, expanding wage employment, especially for women, developing alternatives to children, a source of old age security. So they want to remove your old age security and they don't want you to have babies. Increase the income of the poorest, especially the rural areas, including providing privately owned farms. Education of a new generation of the desirability for small families. Now, this is interesting. Section E on page 11 says that they need to control the food and agriculture and all food and agricultural assistance because it is vital for population and is sensitive to the development strategy. It also says that they encourage the DC leaders to take the lead in advancing family planning and population stabilization, both within multilateral organizations and bilateral contact with other low developing countries. So target the brown countries, essentially. Let me see if I can find another good spot in here, because it's 123 pages, so it's quite a few. Okay. They talk about there is evidence, though not conclusive, that certain aspects of economic development and modernization are more directly related to lowered birth rates than others, and that selective development policies may bring about a demographic transition at substantially lower per capita levels than in Europe. Such selective policies would focus on improved health and nutrition towards the reduced infant and child mortality, universal schooling and adult literacy, especially for women, increasing the legal age of marriage, and greater opportunities for female employment in the money economy. Improved old age security and agriculture modernization is focused on the small farms. And it says that this is important to do in the low developing countries, given today's high population densities and high birth rates, that these things must be enacted. The cause of high birth rates in low income societies is generally explained in the terms of three factors. A, inadequacy of information and means. B, inadequacy of motivation for reduced numbers of children. And C, the time lag, the family preference in social institutions that favor high fertility change slowly. These three elements undoubtedly intermix the varying proportions of all underdeveloped countries with high birth rates. This must end, right? So, to summarize,
let me ask you this real quick. What is the last paragraph say?
The whole paper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because sometimes they kind of recap that in a more in a way that, because usually it can be knocked down to an elevator pitch, and usually this will be the most important part.
Well, the last paragraph, it just says under section 5, it says USIA, a major part of U.S. information policy, which is the United States Information Agency, right? Policy is the improving but still limited programs of the USIA to convey this information of public matters should be strengthened to a level commensurate. I hate that word. Commensurate with the importance of the subject. It's really not the greatest way to end the whole thing. So sorry, that was actually just not the best one.
So they wrote this thing and they didn't write a summary of their own.
No, this was like the summary. Like this is like they filed this down from a lot of other things. This is the summary. Yeah. No, but
what is their
I can tell you the summary.
Like, what is their point with this? I would love to put this in ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to say, take a look at this from a counter point of view, like from a conspiratorial point of view, and say, what could they mean? What could this paper mean? Like, what might they be trying to do? That's maybe under the table, let's say, or.
Okay, listen to this part and you tell me what you think they're trying to say. Okay, it's really interesting. It says, eventually, now this is written in the 70s, it will be possible to broadcast directly to individual TV sets to remote rural areas, such as direct broadcast satellite, which is still under development, that could one day directly put things into TV receivers. At present, broadcast satellite could go ground receiving stations and relay to individual sets. The latter can be used in towns, villages, and schools. There is a hope that these new technologies will provide substantial input in family planning programming. So they planned on, before we even had individualized like televisions in every house.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're like, they before that even happened, they were thinking, how are we going to utilize that when that does happen? And they're like, and what's our aim? To reduce the population by convincing people through propaganda, through their individualized televisions. That's how we can reach them the best. And they hadn't even invented it yet. It hadn't even happened yet. But they already knew that was the thing. That's why I haven't watched TV since 2009.
And they nailed it, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh, they did a fantastic job. Like stellar. A+ Kissinger, you old bastard. Sorry.
So what?
Not sorry.
What do you think they're like what was their end game with this? Like, what is it that they want? I mean, because there's always got to be another, I call it the God question. Why? That even if you met God and you've asked and you get every question answered, you can still say to God, oh, wow, that's great. But why though? Oh, because I wanted humanity and I'm like, yeah, but why? Why is the perpetual question that can never be answered? So what's the why with this?
I can tell you that these people are satanic. Like, and like, this isn't like being taboo or anything like that. These people worship a satanic cult or whatever you want to call it. I don't even want to call it cult because it's cheesy, but we are not worshiping the same God.
No, not at all.
Let me just make that very, very clear.
Yeah.
They are, some people even call them vampires because of the blood and everything that's involved. You're talking about bloodlines, and this goes a very, very long way. And you're going to find that these people are all connected to these bloodlines, and it's Jesuits. And I hate to even say it, but it is what it is. I mean,
why is Destiny acting like she's taking credit for what you just said?
No, because I agree so damn hard.
Because we say that, like, I don't even have to talk.
I'm gonna send it to you, Mike.
I don't have to talk in Destiny. That's like when Destiny talks, I don't have to say anything.
Yeah,
like,
I picked up on that. I got it.
I don't have to, like it's like, okay, yep, she got this. Like literally, we'll be like, I got this.
We are on YouTube, so I know I should only quote source stuff. And Mike, I'm gonna send this to you because people always think I'm joking when I tell them this. Have you ever read the legitimate official Jesuit oath? Have you ever read that? It's a phenomenal.
No, I haven't.
It's back there in the.
I just sent it to you, Mike. I just sent it to you.
I saw it. There it was. I thought I had it. Like, I don't even have a pocket in the shirt. That's weird.
Because you would be a dork if you had a pocket on that shirt.
Keep my pens.
Keep my pens. Got her hair. Freaking jet. I got her hair.
I can't judge. I don't do it anymore. Don't judge me. But I used to keep my phone in my boobs and like everything else because it's just like that pocket. Like you just pull it out. But now I'm like, no, thanks for breast cancer.
No. Listen,
oh my God, there's my sandwich.
Sometimes, yeah.
I was the office pen thief. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't feel comfortable unless I had like a pen in my hand. I didn't even have to be writing, and everybody knew. Like they'd be like, "Oh no, here comes Ariel. She like, hide your pens, hide your pens," because I would just pick it up and I would just be talking, and I typically would have to like write stuff. So like, I always had it in my hand. No pockets for me. No pockets.
No,
I wasn't a dork. No. But
Destiny's a nerd.
but short answer. They're
Jesuits.
They're Jesuits, and that's who's running all of this. Like, I know people like to say like Illuminati and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not negating any of those things, any of those factions, but it's so many. Like, it's not just Illuminati.
So you think that they did, like, you hear the stories about how they get people into those groups and they wind up blindfolding you and having you like, having interactions with kids. And then they use that as like blackmail to get you to like go even deeper down the rabbit hole and stuff like that.
That's like a Monday for them. Like that's like not even like, I'm just serious. Like
that's like Monday. Like
that's just a part of it. But yes, they do that. They do it with like all the people in Hollywood. Like everybody has an expiration date. They have all of those things on standby for like, and they do give the courtesy of letting the people know. Like they let the people know, like before like a story is about to drop, they were like, okay, yeah, this is going to be released tomorrow. Okay, so get your affairs in order, and you know what we have. But they make that deal like that when they say that they sold their soul. These are the kind of things that they're talking about when they.
Can I read the my favorite part of this?
Heck yeah!
This was published, by the way, in the newspaper. I forgot the name of the newspaper here. It should say on the paper. Oh no. Okay, it doesn't say. But it was in 1923 that this was like unveiled. People didn't know this just a thing until it got put like in a front page of a newspaper because it's so outlandish. And when people look at me like, why do you have a hatred? I don't have a hatred towards Jesuits. I definitely am very uncomfortable by them because anyone who would swear to this, you should be uncomfortable. Okay, but this is just word for word what it says. I'm scrolling down like halfway through. There's a whole bunch of like promising to do a whole bunch by God, which sounds great, right? It sounds fantastic. And then you get about halfway through and it says, I do further promise and declare that I will have no opinion or will of my own or any mental reservation whatsoever, even as a corpse or cadaver, but will unhesitantly obey each and every command that I may receive from my superiors in the militia of the Pope of Jesus Christ. Sounds fine-ish, right? Can kind of agree. Then I will go to any part of the world whatsoever that I may be sent, to the frozen regions of the north and the burning sands of the deserts of Africa or the jungles in India, to the centers of civilization of Europe or into the wild haunts of barbarous savages of America, without murmuring or repining, and will be submissive in all things whatsoever is communicated to me. I do further promise and declare that I will, when opportunity presents, make and wage relentless war secretly and openly against all heretics, Protestants, liberals, as I am directed to do so, to extirpate them from the face of the whole earth, and that I will spare neither age, sex, nor condition, that I will hang, burn, waste, boil, flay, strangle, and burn alive these infamous heretics, rip open their stomachs and the stomachs from the wombs of their women, and crush in their infant skulls against the wall in order to annihilate their extorable race, that when the same cannot be done openly, I will secretly use the poisonous cup, the strangulation cord, the steel of the poignard, or the leaden bullet, regardless of the honor, rank, dignity, or authority of that person's, whatever may be their condition of life, either public or private, as I at any time may be directed to do so by any agent of the Pope or the superior brotherhood of the Holy Faith of the Society of Jesus.
So they're nice people.
Yeah, unless they're told to kill you and your baby.
I don't know if Jesus really would sign off on that. No, I mean, I'm thinking
something says that's un-Jesus-y to me.
It's un-Jesus-y.
It's not Jesus-y at all.
No, I don't.
Different Jesus. That's a different Jesus. Wrong guy.
Yeah,
wrong guy. I don't think you guys got the wrong one.
Yeah. So that is your why, and I mean, if you want to get further into, well, what is it?
Georgetown.
Well, I would say
Georgetown.
What'd you say?
Georgetown.
Harvard.
I might Georgetown.
I know Destiny's got an issue with Georgetown.
I don't have an issue with Georgetown. The world has an issue with Georgetown. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
The reality is, Georgetown is the first and oldest Jesuit college in the United States. They all are run by people who swear to this oath. Bill Clinton graduated there. Lyndon Baines Johnson graduated there. Pelosi's husband graduated and daughter graduated there. All of Trump's children graduated there. People don't like to hear that. Sorry. Hunter Biden graduated there. John Podesta graduated there. Everybody who's bad, David Petraeus graduated. Everybody who's bad graduated from there. Everybody.
So let me ask you this.
Something went wrong.
What happened?
What was that?
My Google just went off out of nowhere.
It said something went wrong.
The shit was that?
Okay.
Way to go, Destiny.
Listen,
You got a Jesuit Alexa over there.
It's CIA. The CIA was started in Georgetown.
Hold
And-
on. Hey, Destiny, hold on. Give us one
And they
second.
run Googles and
Give us one
stuff.
second, Destiny. Hey,
Okay.
Ariel,
Yeah.
you need to put it on the other side. Oh, wait. No, that's me. Sorry. No, we're good. Like
No,
this.
let's just do this.
This is good. Like this.
Okay.
Destiny, I think, is bad news. Yeah, so I'll just say, those prices of milk. That price of milk, wow,
Ridiculous.
it really is.
Oh no. Look at that. I pulled some
Freaking
bad cards.
CIA.
There.
Now I got the CIA tapping my Google.
Now? Okay, that's cute. Now.
Very
Yeah.
cute. Like,
No,
why do
I'm
you
not-
only-
I'm not
why do
talking
you
about the
even have one of
regular-
those things in there?
I'm not talking about the regular FBI tap. I'm talking about the Destiny tap.
Well, you put
Oh
your-
yeah, this is a new list.
you did
That's
put
true.
her name on there.
That's my bad.
That's your fault.
Again,
yeah.
I'm just
So-
not. I'm having a bad night.
You know what? But actually, we didn't have a bad night. Actually, today's space was actually epic. Believe it or not, I know that it was.
Oh, I thought you were referring to yourself.
Well, I'm epic for sure.
Today's
Ditto.
space, like, why is she talking about herself in third person? Like, damn, you freaking co-host, and all of a sudden that's your space. Like, shit,
No,
bro.
listen. The space today was actually epic. I'm telling you, it was actually a really great space. It may have definitely take a turn, especially like when the whole reference to like black people being like the creatures that the white people created. that got weird.
Mm.
you know?
It does get weird when a white dude goes into a room full of black people and starts saying that they're the monster from the Frankenstein novel.
Santana put in the chat, "Let the creatures speak, or I will bring Mary Shelley to the space."
Yeah, I mean, it was like but the beauty of the story was that he was doing that whole like white thing about like white people just aren't willing to accept the fact that they're what
was
they've created in this
weird.
deal. I'm like, bro.
Well, to be fair, like that's a true statement. But like to compare that what you created as making the subject an animal, that's where you cross the
why
line.
not bad cookies? Like, why not a bad pie?
I
Why
wouldn't
does it
say
have to-
bad pie, but like
But
like
I'm saying, well, why not? Why does it have to be a monster?
yeah, why would it? That's dehumanizing, right? So like, that's that shit. And like for real, like I feel very very certain of like my personal beliefs, and of course I'm generally going to be biased and think my opinion's more right than others. But when it comes to the race thing, my opinion's more right than others. Like,
Of course, right? Of
my opinion's
course.
more like I have had a burning cross on my front lawn. I've had that happen. I've had somebody throw bricks through my mother's storefront window that said the N-word lover on it.
Wow.
This has happened in my life. The last guy that I ever was in love with left me because of my skin color because
Mike
he
is
didn't want to tell his
crazy.
parents.
I didn't know. I can't.
You know what I mean?
I
No,
just don't. When you
Mike's
start getting
afraid
into the whole, I didn't know where it was going. I'm like, I can't.
No. So it's like, no, not the gay cop. We're not talking about him. It wasn't.
I can't.
I was not. I
gotta be ready. That's all I'm saying.
No,
I
it's
just
not
gotta be
that.
ready.
No, it's not. Like, no, this was like
I
something that really, really, really like
finger trap.
ripped my heart, like super straight.
Oh, my
Like the one that
No,
I
I'm
was
sorry.
like over the moon about, would have done anything in the world for
And
it.
he did that. Why?
Because his parents were super racist. And when we got really, really serious, he was like, well, I can never bring you home because my parents would never accept you. And I was like, well, you're telling me, and I literally said this, like, if you tell me if I was 600 pounds and I worked at Wendy's and I had no teeth and I was a meth addict, but I was white, your family would accept me more than who I am. And he said, unfortunately, yes.
Wow.
And
So you could have meth mouth?
I could have meth mouth. I could have meth mouth and smell like fries and be 600 pounds and work at Wendy's.
That would have
And-
been a great point to bring up
Yeah.
during the space because Mike's whole space, believe it or not, was about would you rather be right or would you rather win? And the fact that like they would rather be right in
Right.
their mindset of what they envision for their son's future, he doesn't get to win because
Yeah.
you were a winner. but they would literally let a meth mouth that smelled like grease come
Yeah.
instead of a beautiful black
Yeah.
woman. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
Well,
Like
48% black woman. So
yeah, that's what's even crazier. I was like, I'm not even full
Yeah,
black.
I mean,
but like,
it's
but
like-
that's that one drop rule. That's that one
Because
drop
it-
rule. It doesn't matter.
if she's only half black, every time she goes over the house, she could just stand like this.
And you know what? For him, I probably would have done it.
It would
For
just
him,
be
I
the
would
white,
have done
it would
it.
just be the white side.
For him, I would have done it.
So
And that's why like I've separated myself now from like a lot of those like expectations of how people are going to view me. And now I have less care about it. But like when I tell you I've never cried harder, nothing hurt me more in my freaking like in my like personal like relationship kind of life. Nothing hurt like quite like that other than like losing my ex. And those were the two most painful experiences. But here's the thing that I told my ex is like, listen, you chose. I was like, it sucks because like, during the break I was like, you used against me, or like what is being used against me. Not necessarily you're using it, but the fact of the matter is it's something I cannot change. If you wanted, if it was a matter of I had to learn fluent Japanese in 6 months, I'd learn fluent Japanese in 6 months. It was a matter of me like doing a marathon, I'd be first place. Like, you know, you couldn't have stopped me for his love, but you chose the one thing I literally cannot do anything about. And the fact that, and the truth is I wouldn't want to anyways, but anything else, I'd want to do it and I'd do the best and I would do it. But you pick the one thing I can't change. And this was like in my 20s. This was not that long ago. You know, this was in my mid 20s. So this was like not long ago. And nothing was more painful than realizing, and I don't complain about race, and I have every reason to. I have every reason to. Every reason to in the world. I grew up just where it was rough. I was the only black person in my city, almost the only black person in my entire county. And it was hard. But like I never, and I still to this day have never used my experiences where racism has obviously been the problem.
Yeah.
I've never used that to say, woe is me, I deserve better, I deserve more, help me. I've never used that. And it's not because the problems haven't been bad enough. I've watched the cops take my brother to jail for shit he did not do. I have been like burning cross and crying mother. I've been there. The whole thing. Seeing my brother in jail when he wasn't supposed to be in there. I know what it's like. Like I know the black struggle. My father in and out of prison his whole life. I get it. I'm there.
Let's call it the creature struggle.
The creature struggle. Yeah. The cozy little critter struggle.
Did he say the creature or the monster?
Doesn't matter.
He actually said both, but when the space perfectly crashed, he was saying, look at it like this, you know, like you guys were the creature that we created. Yes, Mike, that shit happened. It fucking happened.
I need to go back and listen to the very end of it because I couldn't get back on. So I know I was away for like about a minute and a half or 2 minutes because I couldn't get back in.
It was fucking crazy. It was like, I was like me and Santana were sitting there like,
I'm not surprised inside it though. Like, unfortunately, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wasn't surprised. Like, I've been through this kind of crap. I'm like, I know there's people out there like this that literally have this mentality that they can say that kind of shit and it's okay. Like,
yeah, like
that's what bugs me. And it's like wild because I've had those moments so many times. I'm like, I see this blatant racism that you're completely ignorant of, completely ignorant to, where you think the shit you're saying is okay to say to somebody. Like, you think it's okay to tell like the woman you love that they're not good enough to be with your family because of color of your skin, but it's okay because I still love you. What? No, not okay. Oh, you guys are creatures that we made. No. What cross? Who told you? Who was it? Who told you could say this kind of shit willy-nilly and just be like, this? I have the right to say this.
Like, it's
No.
the craziest shit ever. And it's like, I don't even really think that white Americans I think that they don't realize that they do it so much that it's normal. So they don't even know that when they're talking, it sounds fucking crazy to anybody else that it's not.
That's my point.
But it's not all whites. It's just this very small group of very ignorant people.
That's my point.
It's a very small group of very ignorant people, but I've known that they exist.
That's what I was saying
That's why I
earlier.
don't hold it against white people because I've experienced it, and I still don't think you guys are all racist or nothing. I generally still think everybody's cool with everybody.
No, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier. It's those people that get in there and they're trying to, and it might be from a good place, might be from a bad place. I don't particularly think that this was a
No, no, no.
But
I'm sorry, you gotta laugh to keep from crying, kind of shit. Like, it's funny.
You're
but
right.
it's
It's funny.
It's but the cliche is the one that they use the most is that, well, I have lots of black friends. And that's why I was saying in the street today.
I hate that.
I ain't got a lot of black friends.
I love my
Because
friends.
I really don't have a lot of friends. You know what I'm saying? It's
That
like,
means nothing, though.
Yeah.
That means nothing. Like
Means
saying, like, I have you know what? I have friends that are all sorts of shit that I don't represent. I have friends that are atheists. I have friends. I'm not atheist. But just because you have a lot of friends doesn't mean you share their views or understand them at all.
No.
It doesn't mean that at all. And so it's such a cop out to say that. Like, it's such bullshit. And like, yeah, because I could already picture people like my ex who, yeah, we were very much in love, but he was also a coward and a racist and a bigot. But here's the thing. He's going to be able to go around his whole life, and I know he does too, and shame on you for that, man. Shame on you for this. I know you go around, and whenever the race thing is brought up, because undoubtedly it does, you're going to be that guy who's going to use part of my life and my story and my heart and our time together to be that guy to be like, what do you mean? Black people are cool. I used to date a black girl. And that's what bugs me.
Yeah.
That's what bugs me, because I know that that's the kind of people who say that kind of shit.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, why don't you tell them the whole story though? Why don't you tell them how you really feel though? Why don't you tell them that instead of like pull that whole, I have this, one black card, I'm gonna play it. And that's why I get infuriated when I hear people like, oh, I have black friends, I'm totally not racist. You can be in love with somebody and still be a racist. You can fuck somebody and still be a racist.
Oh yeah.
You can make love under the stars and still be racist and still judge them for their skin color. You can still do that. So don't tell me how many friends you have that are black. That doesn't mean shit to me. That doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit to me. I had a friend of mine who was a neo-Nazi.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Who was that?
He even has a big giant swastika tattooed on his chest. He's a really good friend of mine. He knows I don't like the tattoo, and he wants to get it removed of something he got when he was young and dumb. And he was raised by Nazis, neo-Nazis. And we grew up together, went to the same church together. We went to Sunday school together. His name was Willie. I won't out his last name, but Willie, what's up? If you're watching, hey, great kid. Really, and you know what's crazy? He told me when I finally caught up with him after 10, 15 years not talked to him, haven't talked to him, kid. Just last year, he got up with me. Let me know. He's like, by the way, I had the hugest crush on you all that time. And what's funny is I had a huge crush on him too. And the craziest thing is that with that memory, like that boy is so tightly attached to my color identity, and he had no idea. Because I used to hang out with him every Sunday. We went to Awana's and, church camp and all that. He was like the goth white kid, like super white. And but he was a great kid. He was smart, and he was a year older than me, but he was a good kid. And and I actually got a good cathartic moment talking this out with him like about 8 months ago when I got back in touch with him. I was like, I really need to get this off my chest, because you don't understand how big part you played in my life with my entire personality. Because when I was in third grade, give or take. No, second grade, third grade, he was in fourth grade. During recess, all the kids are out at the same time, no matter what grade, right? Small town. So we're all out there, and I see, I'm talking to Willie. I almost said his last name. I'm talking to Willie outside. We're just standing outside by the playground. We're just standing there talking. I don't remember what it was about, but we're talking. And, for a while, maybe like 5-10 minutes, and a girl comes up. Her name was Carissa. Yeah, I'll out you. You shouldn't have done what you did, girl. She's a girl. She came up to me. She sees us stalking, and she comes up to me. She shoves me to the ground.
Name blast. She will put her name on blast.
Yes, I will. I don't care. Like, listen, girl, this is what you have to deal with this yourself, and I hope you've come to terms with this. But just so you know, I haven't forgotten 32. That was when I was 8. I ain't forgot. And I have a killer memory. So Carissa, which was me, because it was just messed up, because I was always nice to her. I was nice to everybody. I didn't make enemies. I didn't have enemies. And I'm 8. Who has enemies at 8? Nobody does. I was just the friendliest kid. I was just having a good time. She comes up, she shoves me down to the ground, and I'm bewildered, like it hurt. And I'm like, ow, my hands are all cut up from the concrete. And I look up at her. I'm just looking like, why would you do that, Carissa? And she goes, you know that N-words can't date no white boys. And she grabs Willie and walks him off I had to go home that day. I didn't even know what that word meant. Okay, because I'd never heard it before. And I was just all I knew is she pushed me to the ground and she took Willie away. That's all I knew. You know, it was not like they were dating or anything. I didn't even know if they were friends. I don't even think they were friends.
They were 8. You guys were 8, right?
Yeah, he was 9. We were 8. I go home and I have dinner, everything, or dinner. My brothers and I did dinner because my mom worked 2 shifts. She came home pretty late, but she woke me up a little bit to come see if I was sleeping, and I was, but it woke me up because I was excited mom was home, and she was tucking me in, give me a kiss, and I was like, "Hey mom, glad you're home." And I was sleepy, and she's like sitting on the bed next to me, and she's tucking me in, and said, "How's your day?" And I was like, "Well, I got pushed today," and Carissa pushed me on the ground. Why would she do that? And I told her what happened. And I said, "Mom, what does that mean? What does that word mean?" And my mom started bawling her eyes out. I've only seen my mom cry 3 times in my entire life. 3 times. And that was the second time. That was the second time. And I never saw it again for another 15 years. She did not cry. She's a very proud, very strong woman. And she bawled. And all she told me, she tucked me in and she's like choking back tears because she did not want to, she was always composure woman number 1. Like she did not like that shit. And so she's tucking me in, she gives me a kiss and she goes, "Honey, that's the kind of things that people with bad parents say. Honey, you need to feel bad for her and you need to pray for her because she's got parents who don't love their kids the way I love you." And that's all she explained to me. She's like, "So that's just something that ignorant people say with bad parents." And I was like, "Okay, mom." She's like, "I don't, and you got a good mama, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah." So she's like, "You ain't never gonna use that word, right?" I was like, "No, mama." I was like, no, of course not. Because that's all I understood it to mean. And that's all I knew it meant for probably 5 years after that. I really never bugged about it because my mom didn't lie to me. So I never questioned if she said that's what it means, so that's what it means. So and she was right though. So it's not even, and it's so right how right she was because and I thought leaving that small town of 2,000 people that I never, if you would have told me leaving that shitty little city of Myrtle Point, Oregon, if I was going to experience racism as an adult 3,000-4,000 miles away, I'd be like, nah, not in a place where I live now that's 50-50 black and white, 50-50 here. And somebody completely just, your skin color is wrong. Oof.
America is a very interesting place. Because it has the facade that it's this
perfect
land and the land of opportunity for all and and so many people come here from different countries to further their education or create wealth and things like that, and it's they lie. America's image is a complete lie.
It is. It really is.
And the other countries are learning it because because of what's been taking place and how America has not you've seen every country around the world doing all types of protesting and not ridiculous ones
mm-hmm.
that are for humanity saying fuck this.
No, yeah, we didn't even get it together like that. For real. Yeah, we failed.
And they got those ideas from us. You know what I mean? Thinking that is how you make change. So now they're sitting back and they're like, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on with America? So now people are seeing that America is a total fraud. We're complete frauds, and it's not the basic principles weren't beautiful. The Constitution is great. You know what I mean? But we haven't been living by it ever.
Oh no. The idea that and it makes me mad when I hear people say this. People are like, "We're America, we're number 1," and I'm like,
yeah,
you've got to stop saying that when it's not true.
You got to stop saying that
when it's not true. When it was true, all day. 1953 in this country, woo, except for blacks, but for whites, woo, most of the country it was we number 1, and we were. Number 1 in manufacturing, number 1 in exports, number 1 in imports, number GDP. We were number 1 in everything. Women in college, men in college, graduates, all that. Number one. We were the land of dreams. That was fine to say when my mom was born. And she's dead now, and let me tell you, shit's different. Okay,
yeah,
shit's different.
China is king. China, like every electronic device that any of us own in our houses China made.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why like the whole like balloon thing, that ridiculous balloon thing, and they were spying on us. Like that was the dumbest.
That wasn't China,
dumbest
man. That
ploy.
wasn't even China. That was not even China.
I-
Like I'm 100. I'm not 100%, but like I can't speak too many things about this, unfortunately. So I happen to know personally
Mhm.
the men who retrieved. I should say men. I should say one of the men who retrieved that balloon. I happen to know quite personally. And then where that balloon, once it was taken out of the ocean and was taken here to Naval Station Norfolk, I happen to know the guy who runs the evidence locker. It's like evidence. It's more like a warehouse, evidence warehouse that they stored it in. And I spoke to one of said people about it immediately following. I said, "Hey, what do you know about this?" And I just asked him blatantly. I was like, was it Chinese and stuff? Like, or are they messing with us?
China.
And what I do know, just from somebody who obviously wasn't inspecting it but had put it away, said there was nothing on it that indicated it was Chinese. Now, I just so happened to at the time, because I already thought the story was kind of crap. The whole thing
Of
sounded like
course,
crap.
it's total bullshit.
If you look at the 2020 and 2021 top 100 federal contractors, which they release every year on USAspending.gov and a couple other websites. If you look that up, in the top 100, there is a company. I forget the name of it, but I'll find it another day and I'll let you know. But the company, they had spent, I think it was like $74 million on this one company. And like it was like three transactions totaling to like 74 something million. And I looked up the company. I looked through all the 100 contracts. I looked at all the websites to find out exactly what everyone did, because you can never really tell. They're always like these weird military contract shitty made websites. But this one is actually really nice. It turns out they made the exact kind of inflatable that balloon was for about $28 million each. About three of those looks about like 74 million. If you do the math, it says about, okay, so they've bought these and it looks exactly the same. Now, does that mean our government's lying? No, they could definitely be Chinese. It could be. We they could say that, and honestly, if they paid for it from a company who bought the material from China, they could say it's Chinese and not be lying.
Yep.
People don't think about that, but I do. I do.
Because
I was like, it's Chinese. What do you mean by it is Chinese? Like, what do you mean by that?
Like, it did not. It may have not have flown in the air from China.
Like your iPhone's Chinese. Like when you think about it, like
exactly everything that we have,
everything's Chinese.
Like
yeah,
we do our manufacturing. Like the people who do our frames and our lenses and everything. Like as much as I would love to be manufacturing in the States, because what it would for our economy, like it would be amazing.
They punish they punish company owners in this country. Like they punish them. Yeah. That's why people outsource. It's because they're punished. Yeah. And they do that if you're not one of the 100% top ranks. Like if you're not Walmart, they're not cutting you any favors.
Yeah, no. So no, it's all shit, and America's shit. And I gotta tell you, that space was proof that we're in a bad place. We're in a really, really bad place. Black Americans are very angry. I'm not.
That's got to stop, though. Like it's just.
But the only way to stop that is if Black people feel that there's some type of acknowledgement taking place. Like I'm gonna tell you something. Me personally, and this is just my own personal feeling, but I believe that we wouldn't even be having discussions about reparations if Black people felt safe. Like if Black Americans felt like, okay, so you really believe that we're Americans? Like if we're on a battlefield, like you're going to fight with me as if I'm an American, and you're not going to turn your back on me and stab me in my back because I'm Black and this person is, your cousin or something, like, you know what I mean? And it could be from another country, like if we're really standing in solidarity, then there needs to be some moment in American history that gives Black people in America that safety, that security of acknowledgement, like, hey, we are not doing things like, we will never ever backpedal like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we got you. It's no way that we're gonna watch you. And for me,
But that's a different level for everybody, and it's
but
never going to be satisfied for everybody. That's the problem.
but I
That's the
think
problem.
a stepping stone towards that problem wouldn't necessarily be reparations firsthand. I mean, I am not saying that people should not get what they are entitled to if they can prove that they're entitled to. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that as Americans, I feel like the prison system is that first step. I really do, because it
Oh
affects
yeah,
every,
that's outright. The whole thing is it's outrageous. The amount of
yeah,
people we have incarcerated and the percentage of them that are black is just A, obviously disparaging, and B, like it's outlandish. It's just wrong. We shouldn't have this many Americans in prison. Period.
right, right,
Period. And a lot of them are there because of trumped up shit, because their color of their skin. That's a lot of it. But it's like, my problem is like I look at things from a instead of from a reaction point of view, I look at it from a causal point of view.
mm-hmm.
I don't look at the reactionary of what people treat each other with now. There's like I said, I've been through racism now, recent, fairly recent. Still, I don't look at that for the reaction of it, like how that transpired. I don't judge it like that. I judge it in the sense of like, okay, before the reaction, what was the cause? So I know if I were to get reparations, that doesn't fix anything.
No,
That doesn't fix the pain.
nope,
And it doesn't fix those people who are that way. It
nope,
doesn't change them at all. So I
nope.
think of things systemically from the cause. What do we have to do? And I think that a lot of people tried to have that kind of mindset and they came up with CRT. Wrong answer for that. You were taking the right approach, which is how do we get it from a systemic point?
Right.
Integrated across the board. We make sure we get that. I understand that process. But the method you tried to do it with was just outright stupid and caused more racism than it cured. Period. I don't think there's any way around racism that starts off with one foot above the other. I don't think it works that way. I don't think it can work that way. In fact, I know it cannot work that way, because when you demand reparations for certain people and demand another people to pay it, you get World War II. That's what happens. You get a very pissed off people that feel like that's an overreaction. What do you mean you want us to pay all that money? You're crazy. I wasn't even involved in that. That's what's going to happen. That's exactly what happened at the start of World War II. They were not having it. And no, they're like, you want us to pay how much for World War I? You've got us bent. Half of us didn't even fight in World War I. And you're going to have that problem with the blacks and the whites. You already do. You already hear whites saying, oh, I'm not going to pay reparations. I didn't own any slaves. That's not my problem. I understand that. But here's the thing. We still have disparaged people because of things that were done. Right. How do we fix this? Without looking at the reaction. The cause comes down to essentially what my mom is saying. This is about generational problems. If you really want to fix the racism, and if you really cared about racism being the problem, not your own benefit of the pay reparations from racism, if you care about it, you gotta start with making sure that the generation coming up, that they have no way of attaching to the ideology of being racist. You have to get that out, but you cannot do that by shoving it down their throats in school, and you cannot do it by making them pay reparations. I think the only way you bring people back together, and I know I'm going to lose a lot of people on this, is through God. I'm sorry, but Christianity has been the strongest in the black community, bar none any other religion in this country, for a reason.
It's true.
It's true. Because Christianity, and that's the one thing that bothers me, is like my ex's parents were good Christians.
But they weren't.
We need to start. Where we fix this, with most of the country being Christian, with the largest population of black Christians and white Christians in this country, out of anywhere in the world, other than Ethiopia for blacks. But here, and that's more like pure Protestant. But anyways, for evangelistic Americans, that looks like blacks, and that looks like majority of whites are the Christian base in this country.
Yep. And
the only way I see, like Martin Luther King had the best approach to racism, in my personal opinion. People can say what do they want about him, but he taught the right way, which was to get into the hearts and minds by character and to use any slight as an excuse to try harder, to try better. And that is, people would go, that's the Uncle Tom approach. No, it's not. No, it's not. The Irish had to do the same thing. The Italians had to do the same thing. The Jews had to do the same thing, and they assimilated through religion. All of them did. The Catholics and Irish did it through Catholicism. The Jews did it through their own religion, and blacks got to do it through Christianity. I'm sorry, but we do, and losing God will be the worst thing. And don't forget, how did blacks even start to learn to read and write, to matriculate up, to make the vote, to make a say? They learned at church, they learned in hymns, they learned in Bibles. That's how my great-grandmothers learned how to read. And that's because the word was for everybody. And that is a doctrine that teaches all children. If it's taught right, you need to get to the preachers and the pastors in this country and have them pushing what Jesus was pushing, which is everybody is a child of God equally. Period. Point blank. Child of God. You're a child. I'm a child. Don't matter your color. Jesus didn't say shit about color. You're a child. I'm a child. We're all child of God. Now, only then can you get from the child age to adulthood with that right understanding, and that's generally taught in religion. You can't teach that in a school. It's inappropriate to teach in school. We need God back in this country. It's the only way to fix things for real.
And the craziest part is you have so many people talking about God, but like I keep telling people, like, listen, Black people would not be talking about reparations if we weren't still dealing with like the side effects of what America has done to Black people. And it's like, we really, honestly, just want to be treated fair. Like just be fair.
Yeah.
Like we're not asking for.
Oh yeah. Not asking for anything that anybody else wouldn't get.
Yeah.
That's what equal means.
Yeah. Like just be fucking fair.
And I know it's unfair, but like, I know it's unfair. And like, it's just, I want people who are racist to understand one thing, that I have one hope, and I have this from my ex and his family. I have this prayer, and some people call it an imprecatory prayer. Fuck you. I call it whatever I want. It's a prayer. And I hope for all the racists out there that one day you or your child is struck down with a horrible illness of which you are told you will not survive, and your life will be cut short. But look, in just the right amount of time, there's a donor for whatever kidney or organ you need, or blood transplant, or the right doctor with the right skills who just so happen to have a night off and come when you need it. Whatever that person is, that donation, that thing that saves your fucking life or the life of your little child who deserves all the love in the world, I hope that person is Black. That's all I want. That's all I wish for racist people. I hope that person's Black. I hope that blood is Black. I hope that lung is Black. I hope that heart is Black. I hope it's Black. I hope it's blackest. I hope it's blacker than Wesley Snipes. I hope it's the blackest, loud in a freaking movie theater Black. I want it loud like it's the 4th of July and we're having a barbecue out back with 4 of the homies. I want it loud as shit. I want it as Black as possible. I want it South Central LA. I want it 22nd and Danker. I want it Black. I want it Detroit. I want it like that Atlanta cat Black. I hope so. And God bless you with that, right? I hope that changes you. Yeah. That's what I truly do. And I don't wish anything for racist people other than that your only daughter who's about to die's life is saved by a blood transplant from a Black person. I just hope so. And you know, I'm on the registry, and I hope all you racist people out there, I hope I save your life. I hope I save your life. I really do. I truly do. I truly do. And I have I fantasize, you know me and my fantasies. I fantasize. I was like, you know what? The only thing I ever wish for that ex, I'm like, I really do wish it. I do. I hope that horrible moment happens in your life. Only because the outcome happens where somebody that's 10 times darker than me saves your life. And I hope you get to meet that person not knowing they're Black afterwards. And I hope when they open the door that you feel horrible. I hope you feel horrible. I hope you cry. And I hope Jesus is there to lead you in the right direction. There, that from that day forth. I really do. Girl, that's what I want.
They'll be ripping them obvious. Get that Black blood out of there. Get that nigger blood out of there.
Oh, no, they won't. No, they won't. And it's because, like, I know, like, racist people are racist, but they ain't stupid completely. They want to live. They want to live, too. They want to live, too.
Absolutely.
You want to live your racist little life. I get it. You don't have to do it the black coursing through your veins. And I hope you know that you're a brother now. Just so you know, you're a
No,
brother now. So good luck
it's
hating on us.
it's crazy because it's so stupid. It's so
So dumb.
stupid. And it's like, if they only knew, like, honestly, guess what? Black people will be able to start healing if the system would say, we're sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
never gonna happen. I mean,
that
that
is
happened
nice.
one time. That happened one time, and it still blows me away to this day. And I still watch it every now and then to just remind myself there's some hope. And that was when Bill Clinton, back in I think it was 1997,
Yeah.
went on TV. Hey, I don't like him. I don't like what he's done. But I will say this was the one time I've ever seen the top tier of a government system in this country, the United States, a white man, apologize for the afflictions done on black people on live television. That to me was something else. I was like, he's like, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And that felt good. Am I any of the freaking relatives of the Tuskegee experiment? No. And that's what he was apologizing about. And was it 40 years after the fact? Yes. But guess what? He said it. He said it, but that's the last time anybody said it. Like, and it was just one event. They were like, we're sorry about that one time. Let's not talk about the experimenting on blacks in prisons. Let's not talk about the fact we put crack in the inner cities with the CIA's help. Let's not talk about that. But I do apologize for what we did to those black sharecroppers. Yeah, you should. Thank you. You should. You know what I mean? And but it's funny because he's like the one guy known for lying through his teeth. Like he'll admit we horribly did things to African Americans in the medical community via the government in this country, but I'm not gonna say I slept with that woman. Come on, Bill.
No,
Like,
but when I say an apology, I mean like acknowledge it, apologize, but then change something.
change.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying like send everyone a check. No, I mean like change the dichotomy, like change the fact that black people get higher mortgage rates. You know what I mean? Change the fact that, you know, we don't get the jobs that we are fully more qualified for than other racial counterparts. You know, like make sure that these things, make sure there's a checks and balance to whereas though these systematic things don't happen anymore.
Right.
You know, that has to come along with the apology because, you know, people can just say whatever.
And that's going to have to come from, I swear, it's going to have to come from the family and it comes from God. Because because I don't want them to do all that and not mean it because that's what they've been doing. Mm-hmm. They've been like, oh, well, we gave you guys affirmative action. Oh, well, we make sure this, that, and the third. We no. You gave us, and that's my fear with the African American community in large. Is that they're so used to disingenuous gifts, that they don't respect them anymore.
No, we don't.
To the point that I'm afraid when a genuine one comes in, they will not respect it. No. And who do you blame at that point? You blame both sides, because the reality is, yes, you can be screwed over, and there's like a little boy with his finger in the dam kind of situation, or the boy who cried wolf. Like, you know, there's only so many times we're gonna fall for something before we're just not having it anymore. And I feel that vibe. That's in my soul. That vibe is in my soul. Like, no, I already learned. Like, no, I'm not Boo Boo the Fool. I'm not going to do that again. I don't want affirmative action again. No, I don't want critical race theory again. No, I don't want Black Lives Matter burning down streets again. I don't want these things that you gave us that only screwed us. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want NAACP.
I don't want that.
You know, we don't want these organizations that you deem fit for us that do absolutely nothing for us.
Like, I don't want the pity role in a movie because you need a Black person on the script. Like,
exactly.
Don't do that. And please, that's another thing. I didn't like the whole Little Mermaid being Black thing. First off, that's dumb. The mermaid was never Black in historical record. Like, if you're going to change some people to make them Black, make them the Black people they're supposed to be. Why don't you do, like, you know, my dad's got this big dream right now. I'm actually working on it. Not this second, but I've been working on it for months now. He wants to do a comic book on his favorite Black hero when he was a kid, Bass Reeves, which most Black people don't know who Bass Reeves is, but they just started doing a show about it, so people are just now finding out because it's on TV, so it's important. But Bass Reeves was a bad mofo. If you know the story of Bass Reeves, he was a sheriff way back in the Wild Western days. He had like the most arrests. He took anybody down ever, and he got mad respect, super respect. He took down like anybody. You broke the law, he was coming for you. He was like the Lone Ranger, like the Black Lone Ranger. And my dad's like, we should make a comic book of that stuff. And I was like, yeah, it's a great idea, Dad. So I've been working on doing it, like the pictures of Bass Reeves for this. I think it's great, and that's the kind of stuff you need to do, where you have what Black people want put out there in a Black perspective, and you get it from the way that should be done. Not white person creates a script and says, okay, this is the Black person's role, and I'm allowing you to do this.
Well, they did make
that's oh. To be fair, my mom's white, and she did push me out her so she made me.
No,
but like
dude.
she got Black heart though. Like she's from the hood. She don't even know. She's from the hood.
Like, for anybody who's watching this, like, if you follow us on Twitter, go to the Twitter space that we did tonight. Like, this
You'll
was
see.
like an impromptu like live that we did. We kind of just needed a moment to kind of just like boost. Like, I almost feel like we need to do some like Wim Hof shit, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, just try to like get this energy off, because it got so crazy. And the saddest part is because America really does need to wake the fuck up, because at the end of the day, like, we need to come together, because we have one common enemy that we've all been fucked over with. And
it ends in .gov, just so you know.
Exactly. And it's like, and we
.gov, yeah.
We can't move forward and move in unity, because people want to act like we don't have issues. And we do. We have issues. And it's no way that we're going to be able to weed through those issues unless we're able to talk about it. And I got to tell you that, well, that is what I will say. I do feel like, even though the conversation didn't like go where we wanted it to go, I do feel like for the most part, we got to have like dialogue. You know what I mean? Like, even if we didn't agree with what everyone was saying, which I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't. But I'm in a place where I hear so much ridiculous shit all the time that it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, this is just another topic where I'm going to hear some crazy shit. You know what I mean? But we can't have a discussion like, oh, and FYI, white people, Black people, please, and listen, and I get where you're coming from. I promise you, I get where you're coming from. If you're not a racist and you know what like these governments have just recently done to us in the past 3 years, and you're like, come on, like, let's get our shit together and stay focused, keep our eyes on the prize. But you can't talk to Black Americans and say like, okay, you're gonna have to like forget it. You're gonna get over that. And it's like, and it's like, and I know that maybe you don't even mean any harm by it, but I'm telling you that Black people are not gonna receive that well. They're not. They're absolutely not, because
some will, and some won't. It really comes down to how much value they put on that statement.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, I don't put as much value on that statement as other people who feel more disenfranchised.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
So you could tell me to get over it, and I'll agree with you. Like, shit, for real, I should get over it, because whatever left there is, it's no more than anybody else's trouble. But somebody who's maybe been completely disenfranchised by the system systemically, those people in particular, and that's the thing about knowing your audience. You got to know your audience. And so like, around me, you can say that, and I'm not going to get mad, because I agree. From my perspective, I agree, because in my opinion, I'm 32 years old. Even if it was slave days, you are not going to stop me from living my best life, at least up in here. You know what I mean? Like the most important place, which is my judgments and beliefs, and that's the reality. You know, and if it came down to crying about it, and just crying about it. If it was slave days, crying about it got you whipped.
Oh yeah.
Crying about it got you whipped. And so maybe that's just in my blood a little too strong, that like maybe I remember that shit. And it's like, you make the best of it. You make the best of it. Is it right? No. but other people got it worse than me. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Other people got it
no.
worse, and like they let them complain about it. I'm not going to take their moment to complain about their shit. Like
Right,
let them
exactly.
complain about it, but you need to know who you're talking to when you
Yeah,
have these conversations. Don't go into them assuming that the person's going to take your stance, because that's part of the systemic racism. That's all automatically judging person off of how they look, and you just assuming some shit about them.
yeah,
That in and of itself is racist. It's not even just
yeah.
racist, it's wrong. It's just
and,
wrong.
and and like the things that have happened, like for me, because I'm with a black man and he happens to be a dark skinned black man,
Mm-hmm.
he's had to deal with a lot of like we're currently dealing with some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like straight bullshit
Oh yeah.
that we would not be dealing with if he did not look the way that he looked. I mean, let's just be real. You know what I mean? So me having to watch that, you know what I mean? And it's just like, whoa, like no, like see, that's the problem. That's the problem, that too many people get to dismiss the shit that happens to black people, especially black men. They get to
Yeah, black men get no love.
right.
Black men
And
get no love.
you can't just come out here and just dismiss the shit that's happening. You might want to turn your cheek to it, but it doesn't change the fact that it's happening.
Right.
So don't get mad when somebody reacts to some shit that your ass done said. And see,
Right.
that's my whole thing.
Like Cardi B said, how come people always get mad at the reaction, not the cause?
Exactly.
And I'm like,
and it's true. It's true. It's so
it's true. It's true. It's definitely true. And it's a problem because we live in a reactionary society.
Yeah.
We live in a reactionary society. So it never meets the moment of, you know, reconciliation, and never meets the moment of truce or closure, because it's always about overreacting to whatever reaction there was. That's not the way to do it. To say like, I'm disenfranchised, to respond to that, yeah, well, I'm disenfranchised too, is not the way to respond to that. The way to respond to it is, okay, could you explain to me how you feel about that, and what am I missing from this situation? Inform me of what I need to know so that I can better help you not feel that way. You know, instead of being like, yeah, well, whites have it hard now.
Yeah, yes.
What?
Yes.
That's like me saying like, I was raped, and you being like, I have a goldfish that died.
Yep.
What the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Let me repeat myself, because I don't think you heard me. You said some wild shit. So let me make sure. Did you hear me say I had a goldfish and you say you had a goldfish? No, because I said I was raped. That's crazy that you said that in response. It's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. And like some people
and that's why like we shouldn't say shit like I don't see color. Like I believe that we should. I believe that we should see each other. I believe that we should appreciate what we see in each other.
I wish we could see color and not care about it. That's what I'd like.
Exactly.
And that's maybe what they have to say, maybe to be more specific, because I think that's what people mean when they say that. Because I get that. Like, I understand that. Like, when people say, I don't see color, it doesn't upset me unless I know they're straight up lying, right? And then I'm like, okay, you're lying. But, you know, but I know, because I generally think that they probably mean that for me, color is not an important factor. But they are saying it, and they're not knowing their audience again. Like I've said, you've got to. That's so key to everything when it comes to communication. Like they got to know
the scar tissue. We've got a tremendous amount of scar tissue, and that is the problem. We are scarred. We are completely scarred. And the other thing is, white people got their issues too, because like. A lot of white people are even afraid to even have the conversation. Like some white people are afraid to even say something about a black person and say black. And it's like, damn, y'all so scared to be called a racist that you can't even give a descriptive term of like explaining who somebody is. You know?
Well, I mean, I can't feel bad about that though. Like for real, like people's careers and shit have been ruined over just a word the wrong way. And like, that's just unfortunately that overreactionary society we are living in. And that's not caused by black people though. That's generally caused by liberal whites. I hate to be that person, but they're the ones. And I saw a video about it today where some girls at a taco stand ordering food, and the guy who goes to hand her food into the taco stand is a white guy, and she's like, "Oh no, you're disenfranchising Mexicans." And there's a Mexican line, like she's like, "I'm Mexican, and these tacos are the best. What are you talking about?" And she's like, "This white girl." She's like, "Oh no, I'm just not buying it from a white man." And I'm like, see, like y'all, it's those Karens,
Yeah.
not Laquandas, Karens. Okay,
Yeah.
they're the ones making this like this hostile environment so that you don't even want to have the conversation. And that in and of itself is coming from a particular race, and that's ruining the conversation for all the races, and then in and of itself is racist because you're causing this tension. You're causing something that you're making a big spectacle. You didn't see any Mexican around here saying that this was disenfranchising. You had to interject yourself and say, this is this. Stop representing people that you aren't. Stop doing that, and then calling other people racist just for saying something or doing something with no context, because that creates that atmosphere where I don't want to speak up. I don't want to say the wrong word. I don't want to use that. It's because of people like that, because Black people aren't that picky about it. Some are, but for real, that's just, it's probably a more personal thing. It's probably a life lesson thing that they had to learn a hard way, or that just sticks with them the wrong way. Like, for instance, like tonight, when the lady didn't like the word African American, I love the word African American. I'm very proud of that word. Now, it's the same thing as like Hispanic Americans or any other Americans, white Americans, whatever, European Americans, they would call them European. I don't find it wrong. I think it doesn't. Well, here's the thing. I think it's only wrong in the sense that it uses the word American. And then people are going to be mad at me for that. But here's the reality. I got put in my place by a Black guy. Actually, it was a really good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a musician, and he wrote this song called Am I Black? He's a Black man. He's an amazing guitarist and singer.
Is it
Black? No, but he's a good friend of his. Friend of his. Real good friend of his. They've opened up for each other and stuff. He's a real good cat. And super cool. But he has a lot of the same problems with the Black community and how it's perceived as I do, right? Which is comes down to what is, am I Black? He's Black as night. He's black. He's not mixed. He's Black. And I listened to his song, and I was like, wow, that's, I didn't know that somebody held that belief as Black as you are. Like, to be real, I thought this was more like a mixed problem because we live in this country. It's one drop rule. Like, you're one drop, you are Black. But then I was never treated Black by Black people.
Me either.
Growing up, I was hated. I was ridiculed. I was treated like crap. My grandma would make me stay every time I went to summer LA. She'd make me play outside from the moment the sun came up till it went down so I get some sun, because mom made me look sickly and I must have stayed in the house too much because I'm light skinned. So she'd make and this is LA summers, every day, sun up, sundown, outside, get outside, you're too light. And that's some real shit. Yeah, both my sides of my family have racism, hardcore. Mm-hmm. And it's like, my Nana was just like, she didn't like my hair. So it's too white. It's too stringy. She don't like it. She would tell me that all the time. No. Right? She just couldn't stand it. Could not stand that I lived in a white community. Could not stand that my hair was what it was. My skin was, she couldn't stand it. And so I always had a kind of question, like, am I Black? Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
And that's a thing that Black community, that's one thing the Black community has to, and unfortunately a lot of them don't want to hear this, but until you guys fix your perception of what Black is, whites will never respect it. I'm letting you know right now. You need to make a determination. Do you like light skins? Are they part of your tribe or not? Because the whole in-crowd fight thing, we need to determine who's Black, who's not. Like, it sounds stupid, but if you're gonna be like Black Lives Matter, well, who's Black?
Yeah.
Who's Black? Am I Black? Because according to a lot of Black people, I'm not Black, but you ask any white person, I'm Black.
Yeah.
So what, do I get left out? You're disenfranchising me. I'm your people, but I'm not. But I'm not there. So what am I?
Yeah,
there's too many Blacks that feel that. There's too many Blacks that feel that. And he wrote this song saying, like, because he's like, he reminds me a lot of like a Lenny Kravitz kind of vibe to like his music, right? But it's even more than that. It's really more like Jimi Hendrix, right? And so Jimi Hendrix is for real a white genre kind of music. When people listen to that, listen to Grateful Dead, they listen to Janis Joplin, they listen to a lot of white people generally. Not saying that you're white if you listen to them, but that was the genre of music. If you look at the set list for Woodstock, he's like the only Black one up there. There's like 4, right? Like, it was primarily a white thing, but that's because we're upcoming people in all avenues, right? In this country, and this is the summer of love and shit. So like, that's just how it was. But like, would you ever say that he was not Black? No Black person on earth is going to tell you that he wasn't Black. Okay. Yeah. No, he was definitely Black. But he did characteristics that modern day Black America, like urban America, would say, you act white.
Yep.
And that's the problem that I have with the Black community that they need to fix, because I promise you, the whites will never respect us if we don't respect ourselves as a whole. And that's just how it is until we can fix that. And and the question is like, just because like I like, like he liked rock music, he liked, his hair like was natural. He didn't ever cut it down to make it look like it was something it wasn't. He didn't put it in dreads. He just is natural, didn't care. Right. And he's like, I like wearing Birkenstock sandals, like he's like, listen, all these things that say that like that the Black culture says that makes you white. That doesn't, he liked all those things. He's like, and I'm a vegan, but am I Black? And it was like everything within it was like this, that, and the third. Am I, well, if I like, if I think that, what's her name? Like Britney Spears is pretty, am I Black? If I like playing Nintendo with my friends without starter caps, am I Black? Like it's everything was like, what am I then? Because if it's about color, then accept me.
Yeah.
If it's about culture, then accept me. If it's about your social standards, screw you, screw you. And that's reality, what it comes down to. And it's, we need to, like in my family, I think it's unacceptable my Nana would treat me like that. I find it so unacceptable she would do that. And I remember so many instances of her being blatantly racist towards anything white. She just was against it. But then again, my grandma on my mom's side, blatantly racist against everybody Black. So if we don't fix it in the families, and we don't fix it with God, and we don't get the Black community to be honest about their community, it's never going to get fixed. It's just not. And I've lived it too much to like, I've hoped, I've prayed, I've done the right thing. I stayed out in the sun all summer long to be Black. Didn't make me accepted. So we have something to fix. We have something seriously to fix, because the largest growing community in this country is the mixed race community. That's the largest growing community in this country. We need to start being accepting and understanding that these are going to be the next voters, these are going to be the next implementers. If you want the Black rights, we're going to have to cater to the mixed rights. They have to be involved. And it's like, I say that as a mixed person, because that mixed person is going to get racism worse than you did, because they're getting it from both sides. They will get it from both sides. And that's something that Blacks don't like to hear, because that makes them feel like they're being less enfranchised by hearing somebody else has got it worse, which that's not how disenfranchisement works. Okay. Everybody's bad is bad. Okay. Everybody's bad is bad. I hate when people like it's worse.
Honestly, my perspective is I just wish that we could do shit just like every fucking body else.
Mm-hmm.
Like everywhere else in the world, you are whatever the fuck country you're from. Like there are hella Black people in Holland. And you know what?
Oh yeah, they're fine.
Dutch. They're Dutch. You know what I mean? Like in the UK.
Look at Tina Turner. Where did she go? Where did Tina Turner go?
And like
she never came back.
Yeah, there's none of that differentiation that takes place in America. And the whole African American thing, like it doesn't even apply to all of the Black Americans. You know what I mean? So
because some of there's Haitian, there's a whole bunch of some other Black. Yeah, there's even there's people from India that are Blacker than us, some Black Americans.
Hell yeah! When I went to Malaysia, I literally saw the blackest motherfucker I have ever seen on the planet. Like I mean, I have never,
midnight.
I have never ever seen I've never seen this complexion. I
love a really dark complexion. It's so beautiful. It's so fascinating because I see it. I'm like, wow, look at that.
This was different.
No, I've seen something like that. It's just it's mind blowing, right? Like
it is, and you try not to stare.
No, you gotta stare.
You've never seen it before. Like I had never seen, and then like he wasn't
white people can't lie. They got the most beautiful skin. Like darkest skin is the most purest looking skin you've ever seen. It's like,
listen,
wow.
Listen, my husband is dark.
You just want to touch it. You're just like, look at that. Like, it's pretty.
I love dark skin. I think that like my best friend in elementary school, she was very dark skinned, and I thought she was beautiful because
my best friend, she is too.
Dark skin, like it's a beautiful quality. But like that is the point that I'm trying to get to Americans. Like, why the fuck can't we just be American? Like what? Like anyway, like when I had never ever been called American until I lived overseas. Never.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing is in other countries, they don't care. They know that
No,
you're American and that's
that's
what
it.
that's all they see.
That's
And
it.
that's wild in and of itself. But like, oh, I forgot why I even brought up my friend who's a guitarist. The reason I brought him up is because he taught me a hard lesson I had to
The
realize
song, the
was the
song.
American.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the reason was because the word African American. And I realized I don't like the word because the word American in it. And people can be funny. And it was because of something he posted once. And I had posted, I was like, because it was during like the whole BLM riots. And I remember posting on Facebook, I was like, I would love to see people actually get along and support themselves in progress, not in destruction. Right. And I posted something like that. And I was like, because, we are all Americans, African Americans or non-African Americans, we're Americans. And so, Olivia, no, it's my cat. Sorry.
I know who the hell Olivia Benson is.
She's trying to break into the room. So like, I was like, he commented on it and he's like, see, like, I know what you're saying, but here's my problem with it. And he wasn't trying to be finicky. He just brought up a really good point. And ever since I can't think of it the same way. And I sometimes catch myself, I'm getting better than I used to be. But he's like, so like, we're all Americans, but you want to close the border. They're Americans. They're South Americans. Like, we got to stop saying America like United States is the only America. We have to stop saying that. And he's right, though. And I hate that. And ever since, I don't like it. I'm like, you know what? You're so right. We are the United States of America. And we're not the only America. We're like so much. Yeah, I get it too, right? Like, I'm like, damn, you're right. Because like, you wouldn't call a Mexican an American unless they were a Mexican American. You know what I mean? But that's wrong though. Like, and he caught me off guard, but that's that kind of stuff that's the kind of personalities and stuff that I like because they make me think twice on some realistically obvious shit. And that should be apparent to people. But we're so American that we just say American like that, like we own everything that's got the word America. That's crazy. We've got to stop.
All the time. I talk about that all the time, like Canada. You know what I mean? Like that.
We should call each other statesians or something, stadians or something, because the reality is we're the only ones that are states in the Americas. So if we call ourselves stadians or something, or statesmen, that's fine. Statesman. I'll take a statesman. I'm a statesman. That's fine. But the whole like we are so American that we claim the word America is so messed up and so imperialist. It's like that's so wrong. Like it's like
it's who we are. It's how it's.
So it's not even the African part that bothers me. It's the American part that bothers me. Like, and I am a proud statesman. I'm a proud statesman, but like so proud. But like I am not proud of the fact that I have been saying American, 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 and leaving out literally 30 million Americans to the north of our border. And I don't even know how many million Americans to the south of our border and the next continent below that. You know what I mean? Like, that's just so American of me, like statesman of me to say that. Like, and when he pointed that out to me, like really changed my whole world. Like, I was like, wow, we are really, that's how much, and that's something like Black people don't even realize we have that much privilege. That we can even say we're African Americans and still exclude an entire continent and a half. But we have that privilege as Americans. Not just white people can say that. Blacks can say that. Asians can say it. We all say we're American and we're the best. America's 2 continents. What do you mean? Like, we got to stop saying that. That is so supremacist of us. And I feel bad because I'm like, I have Canadian friends. I have so many Canadian friends. I'm like, it must suck for them. They're American by any other standard as we are. They're just as American. I'm like,
I try to tell people, and this is where I get a lot of pushback. You know what I mean? Because I remember somebody even thought that I was trying to like, talk down on people who are pro borders, and it's like, no, I'm just speaking the facts.
We're Americans.
The facts are all of these countries are connected. They're
all Americans.
America, Central America, North America.
Yeah.
They're all America. And there was a time when there were no fucking borders. That was a business deal. And I got to tell you, probably one of the worst business deals that the Mexicans could have ever done. Selling off that land to America. And the idea that America has for why the borders need to be closed are so close-minded.
Right. I want to close for one reason alone. I don't want fentanyl coming through the country so easily. That's it. That's my problem
Yeah,
with it.
but
And I owe it too. I don't like the kids that are being trafficked out of there. It's absolutely crime. It's a crime against humanity, and it's out of control. I know people who work there on the borders, and they have seen 10-year-old girls dropped off with complete strangers by the state. No,
absolutely.
that is not acceptable.
Listen,
Close that border and find that child
when
right now.
I
Like,
watched, I saw like the path that they take, the people who are leaving fucking Venezuela all the way to America. I've seen it. I know. So it's like, for me, you know, that's why I tell people, like, fuck what you hear. Travel. Why don't you go and you fucking travel and you see what's going on? Because if you knew what was going on, you would know that the people who fucking make it there, they are trying to make it. They're not trying to do all of that shit. And the fentanyl and all that shit that's coming across there, it's through our fucking government. It's not.
It's through China, and it's through our government too, because the government's lacking at checking
everything. And China makes absolutely
right
everything. And our government are the ones that are allowing the fentanyl in. And let's also
they are.
That doctors prescribe fentanyl. So it's like, so who are we really fighting? I mean, you know, it's when people, I just wish that people would sit back and see that it's the same motherfuckers. It's the same people who are causing these problems. When I hear people say like, oh, they're gonna take our jobs, and it's like,
no, they're not. No, they're not. They never have. They never will.
Take the fucking jobs that they take. I don't fucking
so. No, you won't.
You're an American asshole.
Mexicans, and this is the most racist, truest shit I'll ever say. They're the best workers.
Fuck yeah.
I don't care what you say. I have worked in factories with Mexicans. They were the best workers. They outworked me 100 times.
Hard.
They work hard for their money.
Yes,
so you better treat them right. Okay. To quote the song, they work hard. She works hard for the money. So you better treat her right. They work hard. I had an ominous tree in my front yard, 150-foot freaking pine tree in my front yard. And it scared the living hell out of me. I was afraid every time the wind blew even a little that it was going to fall on my house and kill me one day. Horrible. You know who cut down my tree for me in less than a couple hours? Mexicans. And I was so grateful. I was like, thank you. You did something that made my life feel great. I don't have the skill to cut down a 150-foot tree. I don't know what the hell. I'd cut off an arm with the chainsaw in the first 5 minutes. I would be an amputee, like, instantly. Thank you. You're brave enough to do it. You were smart enough to do it and didn't damage nothing. They did a fantastic job. They cleaned everything out. They were in and out in a matter of hours. They were very kind.
Assholes.
They were great.
That the United States Americans are complete assholes and are complete morons to believe that their system aren't the ones that are bringing. It's just like Reagan put crack in the 80s into the hood. Like they did that.
It's obvious when you look at the funds. Look where the money goes. Okay. Right. I know that the government, I know the government allows it. I wouldn't say that like with the fentanyl. The government allows it. That's bad enough. But it is people from cartels bringing this shit in. That's a fact. But the government allows it. And this is how I know the government allows it.
Who do they work
with? The government, this is what I'm saying. This is how I know the government allows it. The government does this hands-off allowance kind of thing where they will put other things into play where then they just step back and allow the chaos to happen. And then they can be like, look, I'm over here. I didn't do that. They're doing that. And that's what the government does. I know that because why aren't the cartels in check? That's a great question. Nobody wants to ask the government. Like in Mexico, like why aren't they in check over there before they even cause problems over here?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, because we only put government money and government people in countries we want to just stabilize our country, right? Okay. And that's a little too close to home for you to be doing that outright. But you can go ahead and do that in Ukraine. You can do that in Cuba. You can do that in Venezuela. But you are not actually going to get politically involved in a country unless you want to ruin them. And so you are going to be politically active in this country just to ruin it and then not take idea and be like, oh, we want to stop Russians from infiltrating Ukraine and their politics. And we made that as like an assessment in 2014. We were gonna root through their politics and fix their entire government structure so that there was no corruption. We signed with the UK on that. We're going to end all the corruption in the Ukraine of you bad Ukrainians. I don't see us signing anything like that with Mexico to help them get the cartels out, that we were going to work with them and all that. And then we're going to put all these social things and we were going to help them and solve them. We didn't do that because you have no interest in doing that. You want the chaos to happen.
Work directly with the CIA.
Exactly. They're not actually trying to root them out.
Yeah.
They just want the appearance of helping and complain about it.
Yeah, like the cartels are, a lot of them are the ones that are working with they are working with our government. I'm saying they work with them, and they are the ones that are giving them
Operation Fast and Furious.
Yeah, all of these children to sex traffic, to do all of their satanic rituals, all of this shit that
Finders
people
Cult.
make it seem like it's taboo. But
Finders Cult.
This is happening.
Finders Cult. Yeah. The whole thing. It's all I'm ever saying. Finders Cult. If I hear child trafficking one more time, Finders Cult. Yeah, until people get with it, Finders Cult.
It's happening. Like, I'm telling you, when we were at that church and we were trying to work with the mothers and the children, we could not fucking believe what we saw. And understand that these, like, people do not, they're walking on foot. Like, they're walking. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's like, we are so full of ourselves that we believe that these people are, and they're walking with their children, and the women are being raped nightly, daily, in front of their children. Their children are completely traumatized. We saw one kid that stopped talking. He stopped talking because of what he watched his mother endure every fucking day. Every day. And they were ushering these people to the States to be sold to the pigs up there. So it's like, so for me, you know,
they're letting that happen, and that's stuff.
I hear a lot of people talking, and it's like, yeah, but I'm in this shit. I see it. I'm talking to these people. So it's like, I don't want to hear this shit. You know, I just don't have time for it, because people are suffering. People are suffering, and America is the fucking problem. They are.
It's always the problem. And like, that hurts my feelings as somebody who very much loves my country. But I know I don't love it so much that I ignore anything we do. Right. I believe, and here's what bugs me, because I know, like, the government always creates its own problems, so much so that they created the problem of which they swear is the biggest problem of all. Yeah. Which is the national security. You cause a national security threat, government, by lying all the time. Who's going to trust you? That's a national security threat right there, because nobody trusts you. Nope. That's a national security threat, because how do you have a nation that got your back? You don't, because we don't trust you, because we see that you do this all the time.
How did 9/11 happen? Like, how do we?
Don't even get me started.
You know, like more than 3,000 people fucking died.
Yep.
And nobody finds it weird that they happen to find the hijackers' passports.
I've seen those with my own two eyes. They're at the Spy Museum in DC.
Just like,
and they're perfectly fine. They're unsinged. They're not even bent, which is the dumbest. Like, the stamp is still fresh on them, bitch. And I was like, and then you look close and you see where they got it. They got it here in Virginia. And I was like, you mean the state with the most feds per capita? I live in Fed Central. Like, you guys just let hijackers just be walking up into the DMV here, right? And like, we'd like to get some passports. Praise Allah. Okay, sure thing. And the Fed, they just felt like, of all states, where should we go to get our passports? We'll go to the place with the most feds in the country. Well, that was real freaking. That sounds like a plan a Fed would make. I'm sorry. That was my opinion.
Do you understand that finding perfectly conditioned passports
unsinged
of the hijackers, not of any of the passengers, just of the hijackers, is literally like finding a needle in a haystack. Like, all of that rummage that came down, all of that,
literally like 10 million pieces of paper. Like, literally, okay, it was each of the twin towers was about 110 floors each, something roughly. One was a little higher than the other by 110 floors. You have to imagine each of those 100, okay, not every 110 floors, about 30% of the first building, about 50% of the second building were completely empty. So there was massive parts, mainly at the tops, right, were empty. But regardless, there was still enough offices to which there was 2,977 people that didn't make it out, that died. So almost 3,000, they all weren't in the same office. So you got to imagine these are hundreds of offices
Yeah.
and over 100 floors that had couches, coolers, refrigerators, desktops, desks, chairs,
It was on
everything you need for an
fire.
office.
It
The
was
whole thing on fire.
fire.
The whole thing on fire. And you're telling me that not only did you survive the impact of a 737 into the side of a steel framed, mind you, like almost impenetrable freaking building, you managed to somehow make it in there with your passport intact in your plane that just did a complete nosedive into a building, a steel building. And that passport's still so good, but it just so happened the second you impacted and it blew a hole in the side of the everything, that passport managed to squeak out unsinged, float into the air, and dangle up there for the next 6 or so hours because it was found like on the top of the pile of stuff. So they had to wait. Centrifugal force kept it up there like a marionette without strings.
They should have made the Twin Towers out of passport material. And we would.
That's what I'm saying. Why do we have passport planes? Where's the passport planes? Like, they wouldn't even died.
No.
If it was a passport plane.
It would have been a 9/11. It would have
Where's
been
that passport technology? That's what I want to know.
Who knew? Like, we should have passports.
They should have made the Titanic out of passports and everyone would live. Jack and Rose would be happy. Jack and Rose could have gone on forever and ever if there was a passport, ship for Titanic.
Destiny, you know what? Let's go in. Let's do it. That's our original idea. Let's just make it happen. Because
bulletproof vest.
Passport.
Why not? Passport. Passport. You need those gloves to get something out your oven too hot? Put those damn mitts away. Get you a passport. Take that turkey out with a passport. That's the American way. That's the statesman way.
Yeah. That's just
I'm about to send you the picture because I was at the Spy Museum in DC because when I went to DC for my birthday for JFK, because Arlington's right on the other side of the water where his grave was. So I stayed in DC, but of course the purpose was going for JFK. And I think it was the day before I went to his grave, so the day before my birthday, I went to the Spy Museum. Actually, loads of fun. I will totally do a shout out for them because it made my day. It was a really cool experience. Definitely recommend the Spy Museum if anyone's ever wanting to go and look at like all the crazy stuff our spooks and government get away with. Do it. But there's just so you know, if you're going to do the tour, which everyone has to do, just keep your eye out for stuff that you don't necessarily think is going to happen because there is some interesting like little sneak tricks in that place, but you got to keep your eyes open or you miss them. But like there, for instance, there's a way that you can actually maneuver through the tour going through one of the ventilation shafts and nobody else will even see you. And it's actually part of the thing. Like if you find it, they're like, congratulations, you found a secret compartment. Like you can go through this and you don't have to tell anybody. You're like, what? And you're up in the, you're crawling on your hands and knees in the ventilation shaft, looking at all the people in your group. You're like, haha, suckers, don't even know. So I can't tell you where it's at because I don't want to ruin it for people. But you can find that and you can be up there looking through the ventilation shaft like a true spy. And it's so cool. That was like made my life. I was like, this is awesome.
I believe you, Destiny. I believe that was like
fantasy land for me. I was like, obviously I'm in here to steal JFK's brain because they have it somewhere.
Is if Olivia Benson was with you.
She would ruin it. She'd meow and everyone would know. Like, she meow, shh, meow. Ah. Somebody's like, I think someone's up there with the cat. Yeah, I am. Fuck you, Liv. I'm gonna send you the picture of that passport though, because I took pictures of it.
Send it over to me. But I mean, and did we also forget that America, a U.S. military blew up Tulsa? Like, did we forget these things? Like, where the
Boston bombing was a lie. I have proof of that. I can't say that here on this channel because I'm gonna get. I have the documentation proof that was faked. I have documentation proof. I don't care what YouTube thinks.
It's in the algorithm. It's in the algorithm that we found with 13 years after that bombing. Boston gets the World Cup there.
I didn't know that. See, but I already know. I could send you the document. I've only shared it with a couple people.
I'll send you the video we did, and it's so crazy because in the video, like I didn't even research it. We were just thinking about like catastrophic events, and I was like the Boston Marathon, And sure enough, we looked it up
Mhm.
and we were like, holy shit.
That was faked.
It's
I
all
hate to tell people, but I remember that day vividly because I had a friend that lived in Boston at the time, a best friend. And me and my girl, she's one of our, like me and my roommate was my other best friend, and it was our mutual best friend lived in Boston. We knew she was going to it. Everybody goes to it in Boston. Everyone goes, right? And she was there. So when the bombs went off, we remember like live, like, oh my gosh, call Ellie. What we were freaking out, we're crying, we're like, oh my God, Ellie, ooh, like we're freaking out. And of course they shut down all the cell phones in the area because there was the shooter was on the loose or killer was or not shooter bomber was on the loose or whatever. They need to shut everything down so they can evaluate the situation and get everyone in and out as possible without having this whole communications being blocked with emergency services and stuff. I mean, that's usually what they do. So they'll shut down the cell phones until they can communicate with each other to get everything going. So we're not able to get a hold of her at first. We're like, freaking out. Finally, like half an hour later, the rings start going through and she's fine. But I remember being like jarred and crying, worried about my friend that day. And that was what makes me so mad when I found a document I found about 3 or 4 years ago from a government website. I didn't find it directly through the website. You can't find it directly through the website. You just have to find the URL that will take you to that, but you can't find it from the website.
right.
But it's 100%. And I could say this, I have the proof. So I know, and I have it in like 18 different places, including on external hard drives, because I know what I have, I shouldn't have. But that's what they call, the Department of Homeland Security calls an MCEL or an HSEEP, which is Homeland Security exercise, blah, 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 or evaluation and exercise plan. HSEEP. It looks like the word sheep with the H and the S slipped around, which is also a red flag. Sheep heaps. I was like, okay, yeah, okay, cute. Where they have the authority to run full scale, real world exercises. Like Event 201, but like Event 201 would be like a normal exercise, a tabletop exercise. And then if you were to find out later that all of COVID was a hoax and there was no virus, that's essentially what an HSEEP would be. That's a full scale one. They don't do those full scale ones with everything. They're saved for very particular ones that they usually do it once every couple of years. They'll do one of these full scale, and you can read it and they'll tell you these things exist, but then they don't tell you what they do. But that's where you get your crisis actors. That's those instances where there's crisis actors and things don't add up, more than likely to HSEEP. And I have the HSEEP MCEL. The MCEL means like the master scenario exercise list, MCEL, right? So that means it's a dictation of everything that's going to occur, how the players are going to act. There's different roles. There's like players, callers, and organizers or something. There's like 3 or 4 different levels of people. They each have different roles. They each have different limited actors. The thing is everybody in the media is in the know on this, but they are not allowed to say anything. There's non-disclosure agreements. You have to act as though this is how they get away with it, though. They say that they do this for our national security so that we know how best to react in any situation. And the only way to prime people for that is to put them in the actual scenario. And I understand that logic, but you crazy government. Like, you're so crazy. Like, people cry. People freak out. There's blood packs. They make the whole thing realistic. They'll even do horrible things like put off an explosion. They will do that because it elicits the actual response of the public, of which they are documenting the entire time. They want to know how are you going to overreact. They'll pick different types of perpetrators over the years. They'll pick a black guy. They'll pick an Arab guy. They'll pick whatever. They want to know how you're judging that person afterwards. And you'll notice those ones, nobody's ever truly held accountable, or the person who did it was killed on scene.
Yeah.
Oh, what's cute. Oh, close. And then you never find the reporters from that day. You can't find them again. You can't find the witnesses from that day. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's because it's an MCEL. And I have the paperwork that was written before it happened that detailed the entire thing. So the Boston 2012 or 2012 bombing, Maryland, and it shows like the year before it, where they show it and they say exactly what's going to happen. They tell you how every operation gets pulled off, and that was published before the event.
Did you already do a video on that on BitChute?
No. They know I have it. I've mentioned it before because we went over what MCELs are. Yeah, people need to know MCELs because I'm under the belief that, people say what they want to say, but if you ask somebody who's looked into this kind of exercise thing, and there's some people out there who do know this pretty well, more than me, even far more than me, because it's something I only got, like I said, 4 or 5 years ago, I got into it when I discovered this paper. And then I went deep diving into it, found a whole bunch that I'm like, okay, a lot of these are false flags. Like, you know, and so when people say, oh, well, 9/11 is an inside job, I'm like, no, our country would never do that. We literally have programs that do this. I'm not kidding. There's a place in Kentucky and a place in North Carolina that trains crisis actors. That's their job, is to train crisis actors. You can go online, just type a crisis actor job. You will find crisis actor positions. You will find it. There, a lot of the times they're done by, and a lot of the people that are involved, and I don't mean any disrespect military, they're generally ex-military people, and the VA screws them. They're not getting the kind of pay they're getting. They get offered this great contract with the military, which they're usually, you know, military industrial complex. So like, oh, I can work for the State Department on this. And they will specifically hunt out these fucking veterans who owe them anything. Everybody who's already loyal. They already know you're loyal. You're a veteran. You serve this country. You understand doing what needs to be done. And they do. And so they feel like they're doing a service still. And then they just compartmentalize it. It's just a job. We need that to make sure that we can keep the paramedics and stuff able to do it, so they're not in a state of shock when it really happens. And that's worth everything, because an unprepared America is a bad America. And I understand that logic, but that's just like so wrong to do, because I remember crying that day, worried about my friend. And if I would have known then how stupid I looked crying over something that wasn't real. The guy's still not in prison, by the way. You know, you hear about that? They're still appealing it. Of course they are. Of course they are. Of course they're still appealing it, because he didn't do it. I mean, he was probably involved because he paid him, but he didn't do it. So that's why I'm under the belief that J6 may have very well been, had all the hallmarks and like identifiers, certain, depending on what group you're in of the assignment you get, like you're the actor, the caller, or whatever, right? Position.
I mean, everybody knows that shit was set up. Everybody knows that.
Look at the backpacks. Look at the backpacks. Look at there's red backpacks that are worn by a considerable amount of people at J6. Look at any of the footage, and this is how you know I'll tell people like I have a discerning mind, because I don't trust shit, but I also trust myself enough to know what I'm seeing when I'm seeing it. Now, you telling me that people from all over the country went to J6, all over the country.
I know,
Ashley
right?
Babbitt flew all the way from California to go, right?
Yeah.
It came from everywhere, right? So why would there be a large proportion of this group that has the same unmarked red flimsy backpack? Why would they all have that backpack? You can't find it in no store. This is like some government shipped off to Africa refugee kind of stuff, where it's all one backpack of the same cheap. There's no name brand. They all had the same, not like all people there, but there was a massive, considerable amount of people that had the same very flimsy backpack. It was red. You remember? And it was like, where did you get? Were they selling backpacks that day? I didn't see anybody selling red backpacks that day. They didn't say MAG on. They're just red backpacks. And then you'll also notice another group of people that had a yellow identifier, bright yellow, the same yellow. It was a solid bright yellow, not a goldenrod yellow, but a true yellow, like sunshine yellow. And they had either gloves, a bandana under their hat, or they are armband yellow. Right. Yellow ain't a Trump color. It ain't an America color.
Nope.
Why are they all wearing this? Why is there such large? That's because that's the identifiers. There's certain identifiers that say you're a player, you're an actor, you're a caller. And it says so when you read their literature on it, that they will give things so that they can be in contact with who's who, but they still have to be enmeshed into the situation up to look normal, but they need that little one identifier that most general people aren't going to look at. And they can be more broad about it. They can have multiple identifiers depending on how large the crowd is. When it's a smaller crowd, they might make it something much, much smaller. And there's also words that they use during the exercise that are key words. There's like, for instance, they don't do it anymore. They change the term I don't know how often, but they change it quite often, where there's a set of words where you could say it 3 times. And no matter what any player in the game, right, the situation can say, it used to be real world, real world, real world. That will end it, period. Everybody stops. Everybody acts like a normal person and stops participating in the game. If you were to say it 3 times loud, real world, real world, real world, all the players, you look like a crazy person to everyone else, but everyone else hears it. They don't even react. They just go about their day. They just walk off set essentially. And then everybody goes home. And I've seen those kind of moments where like Ray Epps was a caller. I guarantee you he was a caller. And I think the FBI is getting a lot of shit for somebody that was actually DHS. That's a DHS asset. That's why people fucking up. He might have worked with FBI too, but that day, FBI doesn't run themselves. Department of Homeland Security does.
Yep.
And you think you can trust Mayorkas? Ha, ha. He's the slimiest of them all. Mayorkas is the slime sleazeball. He's the worst. And this is the guy who wanted to put a disinformation campaign together. You think he wouldn't lie to you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. These are real things, though. These are real.
I don't know what you're talking about. I know my government would never. It would never do any of these things that we've talked about. Like
David Hogg. That's all I got to say to that. David Hogg.
It would just never, ever, ever happen. My country loves me. They don't experiment on people. They don't drop bombs on entire cities. They didn't.
Willowbrook Academy. They don't feed orphan kids their own crap to give them hepatitis B.
No,
they don't do that.
No. They don't send people in to infiltrate indigenous peoples' nations who are sitting on oil and all types of minerals, and they don't slowly kill each and every last family member who was receiving at the time about 6 million a year each family member, which is like, I can't even tell you how much that's worth right now.
Too much.
Yeah,
Too damn much.
And they literally killed every family member of the Osage Nation. They killed every last one. And I just found out that the Food Network chick, Pioneer Woman, you know who she is? Drummond.
Drummond, that sounds familiar.
What is her first name? I can't think. Maybe it'll come to me. But her last name is Drummond, and she actually married in. The Drummonds are like people who were like the funeral home owners at the Osage Nation. So they were the ones who were disposing of the bodies. So they were all getting paid, and they own like 3% of the most land in America, the Drummonds. She's on Food Network, with her family,
Why do I think Drummond? I'm thinking of something. Mr. and Mrs. Drummond. That's like some rich family. I can't think of it.
I'm going to tell you her name in a second because it's going to drive me crazy. Pioneer Woman.
It's okay because I'm still struggling to find like my DC pictures.
Reed Drummond. I'll show you the redhead chick. Her.
Oh, wow. No, I don't recognize her. Huh?
Yeah, she's on Food Network. Yeah.
That's why I don't watch TV, bro.
She married into the family. So it's like nothing's happened to these people. And like everybody knows that these people were all implicated in murdering all of those people. And it just so happens that simultaneously when they were doing that to the Osage Nation, the indigenous people, they were also blowing up Tulsa, which was all in Oklahoma. All this shit happened in Oklahoma at the same fucking time. And the roaring 20s were literally roaring. Okay. Roaring.
The 20s is not a time I would have wanted to be an American. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
I'm not gonna lie. That's like the last thing I want to do right there.
Especially being an indigenous or Black American. Hell no.
Like, that's, and it sucks. Like, here's the thing. That this is what white privilege does. White privilege plays the game of where would I go if I could time travel? Black people be like, we stop at like 84. What are you talking about? Like, we're not going. That's a game only like
84. I was born.
That's like, and that's like the safest you can go backwards, like for real. Like, and even then, you still got a Rodney King beat down to go through. So, like, you really got to go way that, like, and before the country.
You still got to deal with crack. Then you got to deal with all of the 90s and the early 2000s, and then you got to get to fucking COVID again. So it's like, I don't want to do any of that shit. No. So honestly, like whenever I transcend in this place, like when like somebody says like, hey, there's an opportunity, you can get back down there. And I'm gonna be like, no, I'm staying in my cocoon. I'm staying in my cocoon. Hopefully the media isn't corrupt in heaven and I can read about what's going on down there. Hopefully the media is not like how it is here.
I found it, girl. I found the passport things. Yes, I found it. Okay, so good. I was trying to find it for you because it's like in my many, many old pictures.
I'll put it.
Send it to you. Hold on.
All right, cool.
Okay, how do I? Okay, I got this. I'll send it to you on Twitter because this is great. You're gonna love it. Okay,
All right.
where folder is that in?
Okay.
Pictures, birthday trip. All right, got that. Yeah, it was just like it's in the display that they have. This part of the museum was just so frustrating because like they have this whole part dedicated to JFK and they make him seem so wonderful in the very beginning, and it's like really you're gonna be like pretending like y'all didn't kill him. Okay, cool. But then you got to this room where it was like the ultimate. It was like America on crack. Like the room was just awful. It starts off with like the 9/11 things all on like this one long wall, and it goes around the sides, and on the sides is like pieces of the plane apparently, right? And then there's this like big showcase, and
Did they
in
have
one
pieces
half
of
of
a
it,
plane from the Pentagon? Did anybody ever find those pieces of a plane?
oh no, they evaporated on impact because jet fuel melts steel beams, you know. It melts the records room for the financial department.
That's why
And
everything needs to be made out of passport. Like everything, we just need to make everything out of passport, and then like we won't have to deal with any of this stuff anymore. I don't have it, Destiny.
I'm trying to send it right now. So
Okay.
okay, so it's under. I'm trying to find out where I put it. Okay, it's in my pictures folder. Okay, pictures folder. DC birthday. There it is. Okay, yeah, I had to look through this
So
difficulty.
like if nobody wants to believe any of the conspiracies, the ideas that it was an inside job or whatever for 9/11, just think about the passports. How could they have these perfectly conditioned passports just of the hijackers? Like they didn't retrieve any passports of like any of the people that were on the plane. Oh, what's up with the phone call? Remember the phone call that they had circulating from the wife calling the husband and all that kind of stuff?
I have like read the transcript on that. Like me and some friends read through that like line for line. Just I recommend people do it. Just do it. Just read through it and tell me how you're gonna take that. Wait, is that another one? Okay, wait, hold on.
Yeah, because this one I can't really see.
Well, that white piece of paper is supposed to be the insert from the first one, and it's not burned at all. It's just it looks brown, which makes sense. The paper's already cream color. That's a perfect page out of it, and it's not burned at all.
I'm gonna show you guys. I'm getting ready to pull it up and email.
And I'm gonna show you what the display looks like above it, so you can see the picture of what it says. And it's like USA 10. It's just they just overdid it, girl. They overdid it.
All right.
And that the squiggly pages like that looked all rough on the left side. Those are supposedly part of the manifesto that they found, also unburned. It just looks like it's water damaged. It looks water damaged. Yeah, that's it. It looks water damaged, which is hilarious.
Like, is it not weird to anybody that anytime with things like it's always a fucking like as soon as you hear manifesto, know that your government did it.
Lying,
like,
yeah, lying. Who calls it that?
Right. Like
okay, I'm gonna send you pictures of what the next ones looked like because like the next
my diabolical plans.
Yep, that's some stuff they write in Hollywood. Come on now, like. Wait till you see this one, because so like the next one was like Edward Snowden, and then it was Julian Assange. Like they did like they were like traitors, and like I had a whole display for it.
Black people nor white people talk like that in America. Like nobody writes fucking manifesto. Oh gosh, it's annoying. All right.
Yeah, I sent you the Edward Snowden one too. That one's just was like hilarious. I was like, you guys are the worst. I hate these people. I have old videos and stuff on it too on here, I'm certain, but like, because I got. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Do they care about you taking pictures of all this stuff?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's wild. They did not care in the least bit. I thought, I was just some of it. I was absolutely perplexed that they'd even let it be on display. I was like, "Are you for real? Right? Like, you're gonna just okay." I guess this is the plan. You're just going to show this wild, crazy, outlandish crap. And I'm going to be okay with it.
But you know why? Because they have to show you. They have to show us. It's part of the requirement. It's part of it. People think that stuff is bull crap, but it's not. Can you guys see that?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to send the video too. So I'm sending the video. It's only 2 minutes and 45 seconds of the whole showcase and stuff. And it shows the passport real good in the video. So I just now I'm sending it. Wait, I gotta push pause.
The passport, guys. The fire resistant.
Like it looked water damaged. I'm like, how does something fiery look water damaged?
Water resistant. I mean, like, I wish they need to make fucking cell phones out of this shit.
Life rafts, life vests, because they're waterproof too. Apparently, you know, they're waterproof, fireproof, thermite proof.
Everything out of passport shit.
Yeah, that's what that's how they making mistakes down at the Rio Grande. They should be making their rafts out of passports.
For real, like they are really.
You know what? A passport a day keeps the doctor away. You should just eat one.
You know what? That's gonna be our new tagline. We're gonna be like, man, passport that shit. Passport that shit.
Don't give me just any passport. Give me that Fed state passport, even though I'm Saudi ass passport. Right here in Virginia ass passport. Like, and like you can, the dumbest thing is like when I heard that, like for real, I could make so many excuses about what happened on 9/11 and everything. I could be like, you know what, this is real.
U.S. attack, hijacked jets, destroyed Twin Towers, hit Pentagon in day of terror.
They said that they got their passports here in Virginia. That's when I knew it was really all a lie. I was like, no hijacker who's gonna make a successful plan that actually works of putting 2 737s into the Twin Towers in the midst of the very center of the metropolis of New York City on a weekday, on a school day. You're gonna pull this off.
Yeah, I was literally in school.
I was too.
I was in my senior year. I was in my senior year.
Fifth grade.
And I was like, oh, there we go. Snowden, traitor.
Look at that, yeah. They had a whole thing dedicated to how bad he was. And I was like, you mean the guy who told the truth? It was so government in there. It was so government, girl. It was so government. It was just like, the video is almost done loading. I guess it's because it's Twitter. Okay. It's being dumb. It's over halfway, but it's only 2-minute 44 seconds. I don't know why it takes this long. It takes way less to post one, but I guess, you know. But the video is worth it though. And I was just like videotaping the whole thing. Like, they're really showing us this crap. The piece of plane was like annoying. It was like a sliver this thin. And I was like, oh, you got some of the plane, but where'd the towers go? I'll wait.
You need to just be happy that they had the passports. You are such a complainer. I mean, the odds of being able to have the freaking passport.
You're right. Those 2,977 dead people. It's like, but we got the passport.
Yeah, like you're just being you're being too much.
Like, girl, you see the passport perfectly in the video. Like, I zoom in on it because I'm like, guys, you cannot believe this. I'm looking at it like, this is the dumbest crap ever. I could not believe it. A terrorist comes aboard. Like, oh god, I was bewildered, girl. Like, this is just baloney that anything would survive from inside a 737 that impacted with a steel and glass building that eventually it didn't blow up. What happened was it literally particleized. It turned into dust.
Excuse me.
It dustified steel beams. You can't dustify steel beams.
Can you guys see this video? It's like buffering.
And look, it says this is not an exercise, not a test. Ugh.
It's buffering. Sorry, guys.
Oh, there's like, yeah, no, it's just because it went through, I guess, Twitter.
Yeah.
But like, of course I had a videotape it, but look at that. That's the perfect passport, you guys. It's just like, shut up.
And I mean, how fortunate were we to actually get the perpetrator's passport? I mean, like the people who actually did it. Like, it's so amazing. America is amazing for being able to get this evidence.
A terrorist comes aboard. Like, look at that. It was just out the whole place, even though it was a really fun museum. And you know, I got a shirt from the gift shop there.
I like this. The 22-year-old Saudi probably trained at Al Qaeda camps in Afghanistan. Probably.
Propaganda. Like, the worst. I had to videotape it because I remember thinking this cannot be legitimate life. Like, I'm looking at this and people are like, oh my gosh, it's so awful. Look at that. And I'm like, yeah, it's so awful. Look at you. You're awful. You're buying this? You're telling me that 2 towers of over 100 floors containing nearly 3,000 people, so scorched you will never find an inch of their body. But lo and behold, the hijackers' passports Even though there's so many floors below that didn't even get out and they got incinerated. But the passports, a paper product, mind you, like
Quit your complaining. Quit your complaining. I mean, we got the perpetrator.
that's how we could fight forest fires. I figured it out. Why are we putting water out on forest fires? Just drop some passports.
Drop some passports. Make it rain passports.
You know what? We can end hell today. We'll go there and we'll distribute passports head to toe.
That's all we got.
Flames go out. Eternal sulfur, no more. And we just passport it. You know, if Jesus was a frequent flyer, that the whole hell thing would have never happened. Just so you know.
Hashtag passport that shit. Like, I mean, that's all we got to do. That's all we got to do. Like,
it's just
the fact that we
sunburn passport lotion.
Passport lotion, like that is fucking genius.
Next time somebody gets burned, like, ooh, burn, should have had your passport. Like,
I mean, we need passport bumpers on cars. We need passport. I mean, we need passport tires. We need passport houses.
Passport tape. Screw duct tape. What if the duct tape catches on fire? Passport tape. Like, stop.
This is just.
It's so dumb. It hurts.
It is so dumb. It is so dumb.
It hurts my feelings.
You know what's so crazy? And like, I saw some videos that like showed that they literally like made us see some shit that wasn't even there, like a video of a plane, like, but there was no plane. Like people.
I recently posted it on my Twitter. I don't know if you saw it. The footage. What? There's footage of a guy filming the entire thing from his roof. Maybe I want to say 10 blocks or so.
I'm 1984, Peter. Get it right. I'm Orwellian.
There's a video where it starts off right after the first one had been hit. But you watch the film, he sees it all the way through the second and after the second. So there's no plane with number 2. No plane with number 2.
And the people, did you get the one when the people are like, I didn't see
it. And they just said they didn't see the plane the first time either. Yeah, no, they said that, but like on film, you for sure know the no plane hit that second one, period. You don't hear the plane going over, you don't see a plane hitting it, you just see it.
What about Building 7? Let's not forget about Building 7.
What Building 7? Says the government. The government's like, what Building 7?
Lucky number 7.
What Building 7? The one you mean that the person on like CNN said, or it was actually BBC News. She's like, and as nice you could see in this blah 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 behind me, 7 has gone down. It's still there. You're pointing at it live, being like it went down. Oh, we just got word. Oh, look, it's down. It's still behind her and remained behind her for 25 minutes.
Perfectly sitting there.
So she was told to say that, which means they planned it. I'm sorry, they planned it.
You guys, we gotta realize that we've all been fooled. So, like, it would be great if we could get our shit together because the whole, them trying.
We should do that as a country.
Yeah.
Oh, where's my sticker? I don't know where my sticker is. I had this great sticker.
If we do it as a country, then maybe other countries will see the fact that we could get our shit together, and then they would want to come in with us. And if we could get a worldwide unity, then I mean, we can do this shit. We can do this shit, But I don't know.
We need to fix it. We need to do something. But I mean, that's what I'm doing. Like, I can't wait for you to see my thread. Like, I was gonna post it today. I was actually supposed to post it the day before yesterday. But
today happened.
Like, well, that too. Like, I wish you were like on Discord and I could just show you this live because like with my screen share because it's so much easier to explain.
Oh, maybe can I download that on my computer? Discord?
Yeah. I have mine's on a computer app, so
I'll do that. So the next time we do this, we'll use Discord. And then you can that'll be
I have to make that group still. Like I made the room, the server, I made the server, and like a lot of people wanted to be in it. And I already told people, like, listen, I don't know if you met me, but like I am so much fun. I'm so much fun that I've done fun so well. I gave up. Okay. I'm done. I won. I'm champion. of fun and careless and reckless. That was me in my 20s. You missed that opportunity to be with that person. She's now gone. Now I'm trying to get shit done. So like I'm going to be very picky about the people I'm letting into this space
Yeah.
because I am so not for some things I see other researchers doing. Like you don't even have to be a researcher to be in the group. I just need you to understand that the group is solely about vaccine injuries.
Yeah.
Not just COVID injuries, all vaccine injuries, because it's a systemic problem. We got to get to the root. We got to get to the root. So that means all the entire medical industrial, like industry, in the pharmaceutical industry. That
But that would
is
be
like,
but Destiny on YouTube, they have to let us know that would be if there was like proof that vaccines cause injuries.
well, there's a German study, and a German lawsuit was just won by a person in Germany who took the BioNTech German Pfizer one, who successfully sued on behalf of the injury. So unless you want to disenfranchise the German people, I think you must respect the fact that there are some on the record. So be it as it may, that YouTube might not like it, Germany can't besmirch a whole country. Can ya, YouTube?
Well, I got to tell you, when Germany were doing the huge protests during the whole social
They got blacked out, yeah.
Exactly. And then like nobody would report on it. And then it went from like 2 million people to only like a couple of 100,000. And it was like, what? It was millions of people out there. And guess what else you didn't hear about? Like the hospital.
Everything.
You didn't hear about the hospitals being overrun with like all of these people being in such close contact with each other and, you know, getting COVID. You didn't hear about anything like that. You know, you would think that, you know, during that time in the height of COVID, something like that would have happened, especially with all those people so close.
You would think.
With no
You
face,
think. You think.
you know,
Doesn't happen though.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, I'm definitely gonna do the what's it called? The
Discord.
yes, and I can't wait because the one thing I like about it is that you do screen share and you guys can see what I'm showing. I love that. Like that to me is like everything. If Twitter had that, I'd never be off Twitter. I would just leave on my screen share all day and like let people watch me research in hopes that maybe it would help somebody, you know, or they could be like, hey, by the way.
But I think you might be able, well, let's see if like we'll be able to stream it through there onto Twitter. It's got to be a way. It's got to be a way.
I don't know. I'm certain there is. I'm just kind of technologically illiterate. Like that's why like you're like you should do this. I was like I don't know nothing about streaming. Like I'm 1950s in my heart. Like I suck at this technology stuff. I really do. But like, you're a great researcher. Yeah, using the internet and using anything outside of the internet that isn't like already taught. Like I've known how to search engines since I was a kid, but like anything beyond that, could ask me to code something or like it's like beyond one step. I'm like, internet, no, technology. I'm an old person. I'm gonna be that person who's like, hook up my VCR for me. Like that's gonna be me.
Oh my God. No,
I just can't.
I'm not really that great at it, but it's like if somebody puts it in front of me and I get to play around with it, I usually figure it out. That's how I'm like a tinkerer. I tinker.
See, I can do that too, but like it's if it has a little bit of like creative leeway with it, then I'm like more inclined, you know, because at that rate, then if I can like, you know, for instance, like a MIDI device, so you're playing music and stuff like that. Much more fun for me to figure out because there's no wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
Right. But when there's a wrong way to do it, and there's like pretty much every way is wrong except for the certain way, like I'm so screwed. Not that I can't learn. It's just like when I know what I want to do, if I know there's tools that will help me do it that I already understand, why would you make me struggle to learn something else when I could do it this way? And I know it's so old style thinking, but it's like, don't fix what ain't broken in my mind. Like I'm
no,
like,
I get it. Trust me, I get it. Like I did not willingly learn how to do all of these things. It was like I was forced.
You had to, yeah.
I had to figure it out. And like Santana, he doesn't even try to like, he's just like, I know you got. He'll be like, you got this. You got this. Like, and I'm like, yeah, thanks so much.
I'm good with that. Like if it's a box from IKEA, like I don't even need the instructions. Like I always know how to put stuff together. Like I've always been so good at that. But like,
me too.
there's just something else when it's digital. It's a whole nother thing to me. I'm like, I don't know.
Nope.
It's because I don't have the tangible parts and I can't.
I know how to put stuff together, and the best part about when I put stuff together, I always have extra pieces left over.
I hope that's how it's supposed to go because that's happened to me often. So I'm just like, it just means they love me. I got four screws instead of 2, but that's okay.
You look at all these pieces left over, you like, please stay up.
I did it so good that I got extra. But you couldn't do that. You know, you would get a desk. I get a desk and 4 bolts. Okay. We are not the same.
If that shit, if it falls apart, I'm just gonna passport that shit.
Passport it. My carburetor's broken. You got one of them passports? Going next time I jump out of a plane, passport. That's all I'm taking up there. I don't even need the chute. I'm just going to jump out the plane and let my passport take me safely to the ground, just like it did in 9/11.
Jesus Christ. It's just crazy. And
I can't do it.
I can't. All right, Destiny. So tomorrow I'm curious to see
the thread. My thread, you got to see it tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's award winning. I'm quitting researching after this because I won. I won when I finally, everyone sees what I finally did. I won. My heart and soul went into this research.
I cannot wait. And you know what? Let's set up another stream. Sorry guys, if you want to see this, what I'm going to suggest, you're going to have to watch it on Rumble. I know I'm not going to be able to stream on YouTube what she's talking about. So
oh yeah, no, it's not gonna happen.
So what we should do is you put it out, and then maybe like in a couple of days we can go live, and then we can go through the thread, and then you can show all the documents, and you can just talk about it and everything. And
it's gonna need to be talked through because it's a lot. It's complex, but no conspiracy is going to be easy, and it's a lot. And you know what? It's a compendium of 3.5 years worth of research for real. Like I just finished putting this together because we find more and more out every day. But it's like, this is so crucial for people to understand just how badly we were screwed and how intentional it was every step of the way. When I say that they picked the absolute last person, the worst person for your health, for your choices, for every step from the manufacturing of all of it. And I'm going to get to what I'm going to get banned for on here. Right. But you know what I mean? The manufactured things in that situation, they picked intentionally. They could have picked anybody at any of these stages. They picked the same people, which were the worst people. And they didn't just do it up until the virus. They didn't just do it up until the vaccine. They're still doing it. It's the same names, same bad people, and the people you would not trust with your life. And I have a proof that it's every step of the way. It's these people. It's not many of them. They want you to believe, it's China. No, it's the Intel community. No, I have names. And it's just a handful of them for real. It's really just a handful. We have enough prisons for these people is all I'm saying. And when people really start to see that, because they're always like, all the injuries, you can't sue the manufacturers. That's true. You can't sue the manufacturer for the product if it hurts you. But you know what? These people aren't manufacturers who did this. It's not even them you need to be mad at. The manufacturers were doing their job. They were doing what they were told and tasked and contracted to do. With the DOD. You think you're going to get in a contract with the military and not hold up your end? Yeah, right. Try and ask any other country how that went. It's not going to happen. And you're not going to get money from them anyways because it's the military. But you know who isn't? Everybody who made those decisions all the way leading up to that. Those people, they can be sued. They are not manufacturers. They are not protected. You need to know their names so you can sue these people. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't sue Pfizer. Get over it. I'm sorry. Until we fix that law, which we need to immediately. But until we fix that, we need to put the message out there that you are not all protected under this legislation because you are not a manufacturer. You are a person who made this happen and it's provable and it resulted in injury. You are to blame. And that will tell people in the future until the law is repealed, that if you participate in this kind of crap, you can and will be sued and put in prison.
Destiny.
And then you stop it. Yeah.
When you do this shit, I want you to get all of the data. I want you to get it on some fucking paper, and let's get it all bound in a passport. So it can never fucking be destroyed.
We should just build it like a solar flare shield. This is how we stop climate change. Bill Gates, I know you're trying to spray away the sun. Passport can definitely outdo the rays of the hottest star in our solar system. Stupid. Bill Gates is always stupid. He never gets anything right.
Yeah, he's a nerd. I can't wait till he gets another cream pie in his face.
How could he be like one of the richest men in the world and get divorced? Like, you just proved all the women out there right. You proved all the women right. Like, you proved all the women right that we don't just care about money. That's what you did for women. Thank you. You did one good thing for women.
You know that was orchestrated too. You know it.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. But you know what? Like, that's what he gets though for hanging out with Epstein, and also for hanging out with his ex-girlfriend from college every year while he was married.
I think that it was for when he goes down, because he knows he's going to go down. Like, he knows it. And when
we can only hope.
When they try to take all of his stuff, his wife is going to have it, and that's just. I think it was just a transfer of funds. I really believe that's what that whole thing was about.
Well,
in their asses. And
I think he might have done it though, or she might have done it to protect herself in that situation. Because when things come out, you cannot, like in the United States, you can't testify against your own spouse, right? And if she felt like they are put in a sticky situation of which they will get caught for because of Epstein.
Oh yeah.
Right. And she wants to not be caught up in that, aka she'd have to testify against her own husband. You can't do that unless you're divorced. And so that's the reason I think she would do it, to save her own skin, because I'm not going down in your boat. You know, like, I'm not, no.
Absolutely.
If I have to testify against you because I wasn't a part of this, which she made it very clear she was against the friendship, and say there's proof out there somewhere, which of course there is, that you did something messed up. She's getting her own out. That's what she's doing. She's getting her own out because she's going to rat on you if it came down to it being on a judge. She's not going down for that. She's Melinda Gates. She's not going down for you and your little creepy exploits on Lolita Express. She's not going down for you. She doesn't love you that much. That's the unfortunate thing. That's sad. It's really sad. She doesn't love you that much.
It is.
But then again, you probably shouldn't have spent every spring in Aspen with your ex-girlfriend while you're married. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't do that, Bill. You know that? Like, he used to spend every spring going skiing with his ex-girlfriend, and Melinda just had to be okay with it. Like,
with them titties, with them man titties. Ugh, he's just so gross. Like, he's just so gross.
He sniffs toenail clippings from his ex-girlfriend. Like, I can't prove it, but it's in my fantasy.
This guy who I met during the pandemic in Texas, when we were there for a little while, he was talking about how he was working for Microsoft like years and years ago. And he was saying that, like, literally his wife would, like, everybody in the office would talk about how bad he smelled. Like, I mean, like, his wife would, like,
really?
Yeah, like, he stinks. He's dirty.
What?
But are you surprised? Doesn't he look like it?
He looks reptilian to me, and you know what? Reptiles do kind of stink. They do. They do. My sister had like a lizard. They stink. They stink.
They do.
So I can see that.
Yeah.
You don't think they stink until you be holding it. They stink.
Yeah. No, I got you. I got you. It's
like, you would think he smells like, I don't know, whatever dry cleaning clothes smells like. I'm assuming your nicely wrapped pink cardigan probably smells like, I don't know, some fancy detergent. I would assume, but then again, you are a reptilian-ish person. So.
He don't shower. He's disgusting. He's disgusting. Like, all of these people are disgusting. Like, their inside and out are just disgusting. And
that doesn't make sense when you're that rich. Like, I'm sorry, and this is what I don't like about the elites, is that I know I could spend money better than you. Like, if I was that filthy rich, I would look perfect. Not only that, everything I do would be perfect. Everybody in my life would be perfect. And my reputation would be perfect because I wouldn't do messed up crap. But like, these people, like, they're like, I'm not going to take care of myself, my family, my country, or anything but my own wants and desires for control.
Yeah.
Bleh, I look like Jabba the Hutt. Like,
Yeah.
what? What?
Yeah. They're gross.
No.
They're so gross. Ugh. Oh God.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't
honestly,
imagine.
I am like,
Thank God I'm poor.
I'm like dreading tomorrow. Like, what are the spaces going to be like after the aftermath of tonight? Like, honestly, I'm like, oh, like, what?
Hey, it wasn't Israel Palestine, so that's a win. But like,
that is a win, and like it didn't even really get touched on like that. So like,
thank gosh, because I'm not with it.
It was.
Like, I'm so tired of people justifying murder.
It was a win. Yeah, I'm just,
at least we didn't go there. Like, and that made me so like I was so relieved. I was like not excited to get into the topic we were getting into, but I'm like, you know what? I know, like I said, I'm not the kind of person to be judging when other things are worse. So I'm like, I'm the kind of person, I'm a realist, but I'm also a present-minded optimist. As in, whenever something good comes to me in that moment, I'm good. That's good. That's better.
Destiny, how hilarious was it that we were in a space full of a bunch of white Americans talking about what they needed to do to get a black vote?
Story of my life.
And we tell them who we like.
And they're like, no. No. That's not who you like. I'm sorry. I thought you asked me a question that was rhetorical, or was it like some kind of weird white question that doesn't actually supposed to be answered by the person you're addressing? I don't know.
Like I mean, like how often do you like you got two female co-hosts up there who feel like politics.
I don't know if it's a men problem or if it's a white problem or if it's a white male problem.
But the fact that like you have two females up there who both feel like politics are shit, it's all rigged, it's all fake. But even then, we still appease you and give you like a suggestion of someone like we like, and we're both like, he's the shit. Like, you know what? Out of all the people, I like his message. I like him. And it's just like cricket.
Nope.
And it's just like, oh shit, this is why you fail, and this is why you don't understand black people, because you don't listen to them. You literally won't listen to them.
That's true. It's funny because like it just points to the problem. It's like, you want to tell me a black woman my whole life, not just like recently. Like, this has been a whole thing since before birth, actually, in the womb, black. Okay. And you want to tell me how to do black right.
Yep.
And you are?
It was just...
You're not black. Okay. No way. I could still go with this, though. Did you maybe like inventor of black? Did you invent your God? No? Okay. You're losing me now. I'm kind of trying to figure out how you're going to make that statement. Like, what makes you think that's okay? Like, I say that way too much, but like, I just look at people and I'm like, what makes you think that's okay?
Santana's in the back. Destiny saying they did make us. Remember, we're creatures.
You right, Massa. I forgot, Massa. Can I get you some lemonade now, Massa? Oh, sorry for asking questions.
It's more like
I's a creature. Creatures don't talk. Like,
we're creatures, so we gotta be like grotesque. You know, we gotta.
Can I have my feeding trough time now? Please take me to the park.
Can I please take my turn to ring the bell in the tower?
I have fleas. I'm itchy. Bathe me. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I have never referred to white people as creatures. Like, why would you do that? I had an old boss of mine, though. It was actually when I quit. He pulled the most, Richard, you know what you did. Yeah, I watched him tell this Hispanic woman, he called this Hispanic woman a heathen. Now, the context was her husband worked as the cook in where I worked, right? He was the best chef there. He was so good, right? Great guy, super nice, happened to be Hispanic. His wife happens to be Hispanic. And he was being held longer than he was supposed to be there. I think another chef didn't show up or whatever. He's supposed to be able to go home. And they have something, they're supposed to do. So she's like, where's my husband? Like, we're supposed to go, or like, blah, blah, blah. And the boss comes out and is talking to her, and he's like, "Yo, listen, blah blah blah." He's got to be around for give all these reasons he has to say, and she's upset because obviously they have something they're supposed to go do. Like she's dressed well, like they're obviously supposed to be somewhere, right? And he's like, "You know what? This is what I'm sick of you heathens." I was like, "Oh, you said what? You called this woman just because she was Hispanic? You called them? This is what's wrong with you heathens? Like." What year is this? What year is this? What, you cannot say that. But he was so confident in that he didn't say sorry. He didn't stutter. He just like it's just like part of his sentence. Like that's like me saying hi today, and like today was like the N-word. Like, hey, bank. What? Who raised these people? My mom would have slapped the taste out of my mouth. Are you kidding? You don't call people heathens? That's so messed up. I was like,
it's like you people.
And I quit working for him because like I remember I stuck up for her, right? And I got mad about it. For the wife who doesn't even work there. Like your husband does. He's been slaving all day. And I spoke up about it, and he told me to mind my business. And I was there, and he said this in front of like a whole bunch of people too. Like a whole bunch of people, like table people right there. And he's like, yeah, how do you like my star employee? And he like pinches my cheeks, and he's like, make sure you give her a good tip for her trailer babies. Now, what's crazy? I don't have kids. I don't live in a trailer at the time either. So I was like, that's some more racist shit, Richard. You can't. What makes you think that's? I quit right then and there. But I was like, you
know what? Destiny. It's always the name, Dick.
Dick, exactly. That was really his name. He was, and he lived up to it.
It's always that way. It's always that way. One day I'll show you something that is going to blow your mind with this guy who we had interactions with from the International Prevention of Blindness. His last name was Whore, and yeah, I'm gonna save that. We're gonna wrap this up.
It was HORE. Was it Whore? Oh, okay. This is gonna suck still.
HOARE. Yeah. And
whore. Oh gosh. Was his mama a whore too, or did she marry a whore?
I told you I'm gonna save this for you. I'm gonna save this for you.
It's so rare. That's funny.
You've got to put out your thread. I gotta go to. So it's what 4 o'clock. It's 3:30 your time, 2:30 my time.
That's afternoon for me.
So let's get some wink and see what tomorrow has in store for us after this interesting.
I mean, later today.
Yeah. Later today.
Today. All right.
Yes, later today with today. All right, guys.
I guess it's destined.
I see my people. I got some people fighting. There's people fighting in the chat, honey.
Why?
I have no idea what's going on. And Destiny just got cut off some kind of way. I don't know what the hell happened. You guys, I don't know what the heck is going on. Peter and I know,
but on accident, I was to check the chat.
Disappeared.
Freaked out. Like I was like,
I don't know what's.
They shouldn't make the button red because you want to click it. I'm nearsighted, so like it's just like buttons to me. It's like it's obviously the red one.
Red is always bad. Remember that.
Who's fighting in the thing?
I don't know. It's Peter and DJ ZPE. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's happening. I just happened to look, and
I don't know. But I saw Dog Star Serious, and it kind of reminds me of like people I know. Are my people messing with me because the Dog Star Serious?
Peter's like one of my like regular people. Like we talk all the time. I don't know what's going on, but guys, we're having like a hilarious conversation, honey. We have figured out the answer for forest fires. Buildings,
climate change,
passport that shit. Like we're just gonna
sunburns.
Yeah, exactly. Like so.
Don't say there aren't women black inventors. We just came up with like 37 inventions.
Huh? Yeah. We talked about bulletproof vests. Everything. I mean, we're gonna do everything in passport.
That's how we could build the wall. Passports. They can even use the passports to enter the country after they climb over the passports.
They won't need a passport.
They won't need one, but if they did. You know, if that submersible, the Titan, would have been made out of passports, they wouldn't have, died.
We
They would have
wouldn't be
lived.
here. We would. I mean, but now we know. Now
If
we know.
JFK only would have worn a passport hat.
If only he would have worn a passport hat. And Abraham Lincoln. Like, I mean, we have so many lost lives just because
Aaliyah's plane could have been made out of passports, and Aaliyah would be here today.
everyone Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, like we could have saved everybody if we would have just armed them with a passport. We just didn't know. We didn't know how sophisticated it
They
was.
need to change the slogan, Smokey the Bear. And I can hook this up because my eldest brother plays Smokey the Bear because he works for the forest department. And it's part of being like the sheriff thing there, right? You go to the schools and only you can prevent forest fires. Lying Smokey the Bear. Also, passports can.
Please, let's do that shit.
Only passports can prevent forest fires. That's the new slogan. I want it out today. I want it on everything.
Please.
Smokey the Bear, instead of holding a shovel, he's just holding a passport.
Well, you have to use the narrative that they put in the museum, possibly trained by Al Qaeda. And
that fire was. Forest fires are definitely ISIS. Forest fires are ISIS. 100%. You know what? And the climate change, Nazis. So we need some passports ASAP. We need that. We wouldn't even have COVID if they just would have handed out passports. That's when they ruined everything, is when they shut down all the global movement. And it's because people weren't using passports, and that's what got people sick, is they should have just been using those passports. And then when I got sick. So, next time there's a pandemic, everybody fly everywhere. Everyone fly everywhere.
They got the meaning of COVID passport all wrong. They got it all wrong. All right, Des. Well, it was fun. We had a long day. Hanging out since 5:00 yesterday.
Oh gosh, I know.
And
I need to eat something.
Yeah, you eat something.
I eat like twice a day, and I just need to. Every time I'm like, I gotta eat something.
That's about what we do too.
I had like a piece of bread today.
I had a sandwich. I like forced myself. I made myself a sandwich while we were in the space because I was like, okay, let me just go ahead.
Coffee. Yeah, I had coffee and toast.
I had an iced coffee. Yeah, so
like I don't know. I don't eat, but I stay the same size forever, and it's just like I haven't not an inch since high school. Not an inch. I ain't changed an inch. It's annoying.
Once you start having kids, all that changes.
Oh, that's what my mom reassured me of. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, till you have kids. And I was like,
yeah.
Well, that's great because, I have so many clothes that I bought in the wrong size that I need to work my way into. And I'm just like, I have a hard time throwing things away. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just save it for obviously when my first trimester I start gaining some pounds. Maybe I'll fit these size 12s. And then that'll be the day. And it's like, that's my excuse for holding on to things I don't need to keep around anymore. But I'm like, yeah, no, I'll wear it one day. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you'll get in it. Trust me, you'll get in it.
Yeah, I can't wait for the day where like right now I'm wearing like sweatpants with like elastic strap. Okay.
Yeah.
Like when I get pregnant one day, I won't have to explain that I'm lazy wearing them. I'll just be like, what? Oh, you trying to say I'm not dressed up? Excuse me, I'm carrying a life. It needs elastic bands, okay? Because I'm like, I used to care about how I got all dressed up, and now I'm like, I wear sweatpants every day. Every day. I don't want to have to explain myself about it anymore, and I guess that means getting pregnant, like one of these days.
Some days when you're pregnant and you are just like so like, ugh. Oh my God. Like when I was pregnant with the twins, like my belly was so huge. And like I would just grab the closest shirt, and typically they were always Santana shirt. Like I'm just gonna wear his clothes.
Oh yeah. I want to be that like eating out of a tub of ice cream, wearing shirt 10 sizes too big, crying over a commercial on TV, and be like,
it's not really like that. It's not really.
I want it to be that way because my imagination. Like I just want it exaggerated, and I want it like so annoying, like where I'm crying and screaming at my pizza delivery guy because he doesn't understand how I feel about pepperoni. Like I really want that. Like really bad.
You are fucking insane. I love it.
I won't argue on that. That's a certifiable thing. I'm pretty sure it's still on my record, like in the state, like certifiably insane.
No,
And
listen, I love it. Listen, I'd rather be around fucking crazy people than people
in this day and age, yeah. You know what? The conspiracy theorists, the psychopaths, the mumbling cat lady,
on.
they're right. Okay.
On. They know
Alex
something.
Jones was right.
They know
So
some things.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'm glad you guys tuned in. We were just on here just talking shit. Really, we didn't have anything planned or anything like that, but we appreciate you. And tomorrow, Destiny's going to drop a huge bomb on Twitter, and I guess
Hiroshima.
in a couple of days, maybe we'll do another live. I'm not sure what we'll do it about, but you'll see us again. So.
Yes.
Until then, everybody, good night. Can you dig it?
Night.